Hi guys, I'm Becca Otis from Five Lines Pottery, and I'm located in Van.
And I'm Ryan Durbin from RD Ceramics, located in Highland Heights, Kentucky.
And welcome to Wheel Talk.
All right, we're live. Welcome back. It is myself and a returning guest for, I don't know, the
Heidi
fifth,
Fehrenbacher.
sixth time. You're going to be Heidi today?
Yeah.
Isaac Shue is back. Welcome back, Isaac. Becca is not with us tonight. She could not stay up this late.
So he's bringing in the
Bring,
substitute.
bringing in the substitute, the, the pinch hitter.
Inch hitter. Heck yeah.
Welcome back.
Thanks, big dude.
What's new? What's going on?
Work, 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 work.
You just
It's
finished a big batch of pumpkins over there.
it is yeah. It's July, end of July, so it is like game on for the end of the year. Producing as much as we can and staying on top of things.
'Cause your next big show is September, is it the 13th?
13th.
The
Yep,
13th.
13th.
Okay, so
We have a
that's
big
your
show the 13th. We have a big show the 20th, and then we have a mediocre, kind of decent size the next weekend.
which one's that?
Michiana Pottery Tour.
Oh yeah, that's an okay size show. Yeah.
I mean, it's a good show, but it's
They would have just heard about that last week, so with
it.
Trevor.
Oh yeah, yeah, it's a good show. I'm not gonna say it's not good, but it's just in the realm of our shows that we have lined up. It's the smaller of the three,
Yeah,
but
last year
it's
you couldn't quite make it because you didn't have enough inventory, so
yeah. We had our two shows, and we literally had 17 pots left, I think. And so I had to call Trevor and be like, hey, I'm not going to make it because I'm not driving 28 hours round trip with 17 pots. So
17 pots and
I've never been that low. Like it was nuts. Um, but yeah, we're trying to take care of that problem and make more. So we
well
made
you're
200.
on the
We made,
road to it. You
we
you
made,
just broke 1,000 pumpkins at least.
yeah, we made 218 more pumpkins than last year. So there is that.
It seems like you started later though, because of the move.
Yeah,
Is
we
that right?
did. We did. We started 2 weeks later. And last year I made them until or my last pumpkin last year was July 26th, and my last one this year I think was July 8th, maybe. But this year, like I legit last year I tried to do like 15 a day. And this year, that's just all I did is I just made pumpkins. I mean, I didn't try to balance the gallery, other shows. I just knocked them out as hard as I could, as fast as I could.
So what was
Also,
that pace if it was 15 a year last time or 15 a day last time?
I averaged, I think I averaged 35 a day. But that was all sizes. So once I get up into like the 2 pound, those things take forever. They're a lot
Hmm.
harder. The 1 pounders go pretty quick. So like when I was doing I did them all like 1 pounders. I set my quota like 300 1 pounders, and I just did those. So it's all the muscle memory. Then I went to 1.5 pound and did, I think, 400 of those. And then 2 pounds, maybe 180 or 200. And then I like 2.5. I think I did 50, and then slowly all the way up to, I have a 7 pounder right now. And I'll still probably make a couple more,
Hmm.
like all the
You're
way up
still
to
making
10.
those really big ones? You were trying to make one
Yeah.
big one a week or something like
Yeah,
that?
I'll still try to do the really big ones just kind of slowly. Like that's more like my Friday afternoon when I'm done for the week, just knock out one or two of those every week. and let them dry into the weekend. And they're fine. So, and then yesterday, Karina finished, well, kind of finished. Um, Her goal was 3,000. She got 2,500 yesterday and decided to stop for now. And kind of like with the big pumpkins, just when she gets a break.
Is that where she was at last year? Was 3,000?
No, she did 2,000 last year.
Hmm. Yeah,
And
that's
she
a
had,
big jump from 2 to 3.
yeah, yeah. And now we also have a walking child where last year she was kind of stationary.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's been hectic trying to balance the new studio, the new gallery, people walking in because we now have, I don't know, about 30 to 40 people just walking in off the street every day now that we've moved compared to our old gallery. I mean, we didn't have foot traffic. We just had people who Saturday mornings we'd get a little foot traffic, but it was like we pushed Saturday mornings so local people would come out for free coffee, things like that. But here it's like every day, at least
And
20
your studio's
people. We
adjacent to the gallery, so it's not a big it's not a trek from the working studio over to the
Yeah, no,
gallery like it was at the old house.
right, right. But now it's, I mean, it's the constant, hey, how are you doing? Um,
Do you
Stopping
just
and
kind of
wiping
stick
up.
to the wheel and talk to them across the way, or do you
Oh
clean
yeah,
up and walk over
no,
and
no, 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 no. We just keep working and they like it because they come watch. Um, I mean, you get used to having that trained eye of where people are at in the gallery, not being the obvious watching them, but you know where they're at, what they're doing, and you can see if they have something in their hand that they're going to check out. So then you go prepare and like clean up, things like that. But it's also in Harper when people showed up, they bought. Where here it's very much the majority don't buy. It's walk around, we're shopping, we're just looking.
right? Because they
So you got,
probably are the first time walking in there, or
hmm
they're regular. They just stop in there once a week or whatever on their walk.
yeah, yeah. A lot of them are just
Say
shopping
hi.
downtown Newton. So, hmm
Okay.
we're
Are you
getting used to
hitting
all
kind
that.
of what you would normally average on a, you were open a Saturday in Harper and you'd average a certain amount of money. Are you kind of averaging that over a week at the shop?
Mm, we're we're way above that. Yeah,
Okay, that's good.
like I mean, we should be if we're having 40 people walk in, but yeah, it's a lot higher.
That's
Because I mean,
good.
we're also open Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 5 days a week. Compared to in Harper, we were open, but nobody came during the week. We just basically on Saturday. So we're averaging, I don't know, let's say on the low side, 25 a day times five, 125 people compared to maybe 15 on a good week in Harper.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, get those
yeah,
numbers up and then you get the little trickles
it's
of however many people buy and
yeah, no, it's been real good. Like I would say it's been better than we really expected because you just don't know what you're getting into.
hmm.
But we have to be a lot more intentional about what we're doing and where we're at. Like in Harper, we'd be like, you know what, let's go out to the hospital for lunch. And we'd be gone for an hour, so we would just leave. And if somebody showed up, we just had a sign that said, take what you want, send us an email what you had, and we'll shoot you an invoice. We're here, we like, if we're open, we literally have to be here downstairs, like taking care of people, like an actual store,
Right.
you know,
It's not quite the honor system level of trust
right?
there, not yet at least.
So the other day we had to drive back to Harper to show our house in the middle of the day. So our intern stayed and took over the shop. Like you can't just close. I mean, you could, but it's just not professional.
Right. It doesn't look good on the reputation if people stop
Yeah.
by.
Yeah, exactly. If they stop by, it's closed. They're not coming back.
Hmm. Yeah, that's one of the reasons I never wanted. Well, I won't say never because you never know, but never wanted a gallery space where it's working
Hmm.
space as well, just because of the context switching that's constant and the feeling like I'm never working efficiently enough because I'm gonna get
Hmm.
interrupted at any minute.
Yeah, but you get used to it and you figure out how to do it.
Hmm.
It's fine. Plus, honestly, I think a lot of that is what sells stuff to people who don't know what they're looking at.
Is that you're actively working and they can see
Well,
pieces in various stages?
yeah, well, they can see you making what they're purchasing.
Right.
Like the famous question, you make all this? Like they can see you actually making all of that.
Right.
And it blows their mind if they've definitely never really even seen it. And then they understand quickly why prices are higher than at Walmart. So, and it's also
Right.
time you can just educate them like in a positive way.
Hmm. Because they can see all the wheels over there or
For sure. And they can
all the
see all the.
pieces in process and see, oh, well,
Mhm.
that's what it looks like when you make it
And say,
fresh.
do you have one of those oven things in here? And then take them back to the kiln room and they can see that that one's actually glowing red. It's on. These pots just came out. Yeah. So it's a good thing to let people in to where you're at. It may be an interruption, but it's a good interruption.
Right. Yeah, I did a show this weekend and there's a few of those questions of, are these, do you make these or are they were saying, are these Bybee Pottery, which is a popular pottery factory or something in the Kentucky area? So I mean, you kind of go down that thought process and you're like, well, they probably don't know any known potteries. They know of Bybee Pottery because it's local to Kentucky. So they're like, maybe this person's selling Bybee Pottery.
Yeah.
Like, it just doesn't make sense as business owners that we are, that it would make sense that you would sell factory made pottery of some business at just an art show. Like, it
Hmm.
just doesn't make sense. But that's all they know is that name. So they're
Right.
like, is this that company? And I'm like, no,
Hmm.
this is handmade in my studio by just me.
We had a lady walk in the other day and she was dead serious. She goes, do you have any local potters in this gallery? I was like,
You
what?
looking at one?
I was like, can you not I mean, can you not see the pottery wheel right here?
I think
Yeah.
was she just look like thinking it was an artist featured gal, like
She
a,
thought it was like an artist guild or something, or just a gallery that sold pots from all over that we brought in different potters.
hmm.
I mean, legit question. It's just
Yeah. Plus,
like you said,
it's
we
not Isaac
know,
Shue Pottery Shop. It's Gallery Mostasa, so
right?
it's got an elevated, credibility that.
It makes it look better than it is.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's a testament to both of you all making
Well,
that
we chose the
shop
name
look the way it
gallery
is.
too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Um, that's when we started way back when we chose Gallery Mostasa. It was, just a little garage out in the middle of the country of Kansas. And people like, it's not a gallery. It's like, well, yeah, but if you call it a country store, it doesn't feel fine. Doesn't feel like good.
Yeah,
So that's
the
why we chose.
Mostasa country store.
Yeah, I mean, it was also just our display room. It wasn't a gallery. I mean, it was, I guess, in a sense, but it just felt more official, like separated from a Harper County store to gallery Mostasa.
Hmm.
So yeah, and then I mean, as we've grown and known what we're doing, I would say people walk in and think it feels the new store. I mean, the number one thing people say when they walk into this new store is, "Holy crap, this place is huge."
Right.
I mean, they're just used to our other one, which it is. It's very large.
Yeah, it takes a
Um,
lot of pots to fill it.
and that takes a ton of pots. And it just always feels empty. The other day, I'm like, it feels so empty in here. And I started looking around and I'm like, this still would fill like a booth at an art show like 300 times. It just feels empty.
Right. You could have, 500 pots in there and it feels like nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's a potter that was at the show and he has a showroom. They've been around a long time. So he was
At
saying
the
they only do
Brea.
in Berea, yeah. And he was saying they have a showroom and keeping up with the inventory for the keeping the gallery filled as well as for the shows. They only
Yeah.
do two shows, but he's been around so long. They're kind of like he's like the hometown kid kind of. That
Yeah.
tater knob pottery has been in Berea for, I don't know, 50 years or something. And they have a huge area. So he only does two shows and he demos at the shows that he does. And
Mm,
he was like, it's hard enough to keep up with inventory at the shop, much
right.
less have enough to take to a show.
See,
Because
and that's what
you don't
we've
want
kind
to
of cut
empty the
back.
entire shop.
We've cut back just to the Bluegrass Festival that we do right after the pumpkin patch, and then pottery tour. And honestly, I don't know how many more years we can do pottery tour. It's too much. Like when you have a store. So I mean, it's 2 weekends back to back, and they're almost week-long shows. Pottery tour is not a week-long show, but for me to drive out there and drive back, it turns into a haul. So you got to close the store. Something you leave an intern here, but then you got to leave pots. Like, what do you do?
Hmm.
It's way too much.
Yeah, it's kind of a interesting middle ground of you've got the small scale potter that is in their home or their whatever studio. They've got and maybe an online inventory and they have a show inventory, but maybe
Right.
they don't have enough to overlap, so they got to take all of it to the show. And then you've
Mm-hmm.
got the next scale up, which is like, okay, maybe I have enough for shops, so I deliver to consignment or wholesale, and then you also have show inventory, so you got to keep up with that stock. And then you get to like, okay, I have a storefront or I have a gallery representation that needs enough stocked all the time
Right.
and take to shows or sell online or all three. And like the scale of that is just crazy.
Yeah.
But then you limit how many people you could be in front of, I guess, like the radius of people to know you. But I mean, your store is getting foot traffic on a daily basis, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
We can't even keep up our online right now. Like we don't even try to put it online. Some lady commented today on my pumpkin post. And she say it was, I mean, you could take it positive or negative. Can you please make sure to put pumpkins online this year for some of us who don't even live close to you? And it's like, I mean, we try. Same time,
Right.
I'm not gonna hold things back so that I can spend a week or two packing pumpkins to ship when people come here to buy them.
Right.
So, and that lady lived less than an hour away. I was like, "Are you kidding me right
Oh.
now?"
See, the thing
So,
is she got there, and she wouldn't even have to probably go that far out of her way to get there at a re she could probably show up at the time of opening and still have plenty to
seriously.
pick from.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like we will not sell out this year at our opening, guaranteed not. Like you show up in the afternoon, you're still gonna have a decent pick.
Right. And you're able to see them in person. You're not risking getting something online
Seriously.
that you're not happy with.
The other thing with pumpkins is there's such an awkward shipping size. Like you're almost paying one box per pumpkin. So if you get three, you could have bought a whole nother pumpkin to save your shipping,
Right.
or candles or mugs or whatever else.
Yeah, it's obviously way easier to just shop in person. I'd much rather you pick it up in person.
But like, yeah, and that's the thing is like we're not trying to. We'll put them online for sure, whatever we have left, but we're not trying to do an online update. Like,
Right. And
but the other thing is
you
like,
could really game it. Like you could increase the price dramatically on online just because you know the demand is there and
hmm
really milk that.
yeah, but I always feel bad doing that.
Yeah. So,
But the other thing is like, you think about it, like going back to the previous conversation, we now have we a, a large gallery we have to keep full. So like even to put those online is almost like we need those in the store for the next 3 months too after September because then we have Christmas coming up and you don't want to empty your store.
hmm,
You know what
because
I
your
mean?
event is
Like
September, early September, and you kind of want the trickle of those pieces to be flowing the whole month of September if you can,
right.
and
Well,
hopefully have them for your shows.
In October, November, because you still have people coming into the shop until our Christmas show, which is December 6th. And we've got to spend time making that stuff. We can't sit back and make more pumpkins.
Yeah, you're
Like
done. You're done with 1,000 pumpkins you've thrown. You're not
come
throwing
October
anymore.
1st, yeah, like I might start Christmas like in 2 weeks, just because we're ahead of schedule. And
Hmm.
that's also just keep kind of the basics of the gallery up. Like, your oil pours, your mugs, your spoon holders. Keep
Right. So
those in
you're so
stock.
you're gonna have to start making those other forums to fill out the
Hmm.
because
I think
you
I
started
think
finished pumpkins, but you can't actually put them on the floor.
no, we got to put them in storage now, which thank God we have room. But also going back to you said we're ahead of schedule. I think we have four part-time people that help us now. Since we've been up here, like in Newton, it's incredible how many actual people with pottery experience there are. Adel, our intern from last year, she lives up here, so she's back with us. We hired another girl who just moved here from Canada a year ago. She married a guy close by here, and she came in the other day just to buy something, and she said, "Oh, being in here makes me miss my potter's wheel." And I was like, "You what? You have a potter's wheel?" So we started talking, and I said, "You have a job?" She's like, "No." Do you want to hire me? And I was like, yeah. So she came in. She
That's
came
all
in the
it took.
next.
I'm
Came in.
interested in pottery. You got a pottery wheel and
You
make
have a
me miss it.
potter's wheel? Then yeah, you can probably come. So, dude, she's killer. She's awesome. So we have Adel and we have Beth, and then we have an intern whose name is Jared. He's an older gentleman who is getting close to retirement, and he just needed kind of like a fresh start away from his career and found pottery and heard about us through I don't know, I think his Potter Guild that he is a part of, and just asked if he could do our internship. So he's doing our internship right now, 3-month internship. So he's putting in 20 hours a week, and we have another girl. She's been on vacation the past couple of weeks, so I don't feel like we have her anymore, but she should be coming back soon. So yeah, we that being said, we have helpers, and that's helping us get things done a lot. Um, that helps us move things through pretty quick.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a lot to manage too.
It is. It's turning into managing people and keeping them busy. And we're going to start classes in the next week. And then that's another element to keep going.
And that is pretty much just you teaching for the most part, anything wheel related. And then is Karina doing hand building?
No, it's just with the kids. It's hard to have her coming down and doing it. And
So,
um,
so you're doing all of it?
I'll probably do it for the first start, but then we've talked to the interns. So like Adel can teach intro to wheel throwing pretty easily. But she can also be down there while I'll do like the main teaching, and she can be like doing the hands-on, like helping, things
Mm,
like that. So we'll utilize them as well. But then we're also going to have like just stop in traffic of paint your own pots, but it's going to be like actual my pots. So I'll make and bisque planters, mugs, wine cups, and espresso mugs, all in our buff ware, and then they can come in with stroking coats and glaze their own. Like there's so many
easy.
people who walk by and say, "Do you have a small class we can do?" And they can go over and just grab a literally one of these,
Yeah, just
and
commit to
we'll
like 30-minute to 2 hour
Mhm.
kind of.
Yeah, and we'll have pinstriping tape so they can block it off like into shapes or like barn quilts, and we'll have little tutorials of things they can do. Kind of print it off, just kind of a walk-in, help yourself. They'll leave it, we'll fire it, get it all liner glazed and everything, and back to them. And then they have an actual like not a paint your own pottery mug, but an actual hand thrown mug that they helped create.
Right.
So that'll be a walk-in traffic deal that we'll have to stop and get people set up. But that's something our interns can do too.
Right. They'll just be the on staff person
Hmm.
for the day while you're here. If
Hmm.
somebody comes in, they're asking about this. This is how you help them out.
Right, right.
Nice.
So it's coming.
It's coming.
I painted a mural the other day.
Yeah, I saw that.
Well, the other week. It took forever. I was like, oh, I'll knock that out in a day. No.
A day.
Dude, it took 20 hours.
Oh my gosh. What is it
It's a
for
bunch
people
of
that
like,
haven't seen it?
um, it looks kind of like poppies. but we did them yellow, more like mustard flowers. But poppies are a little bit more cool to look at than mustard because mostaza means mustard in Spanish. Um, so we do stuff with like the mustard plant, mustard seed, mustard flower. And so yeah, it's just a bunch of flowers that are all different shades of yellow and fading down into the stems that are green,
Mm-hmm.
but lots of colors. And it's not just a green stem. It has lots of layers of colors and you know,
Right.
yeah, it was fun. I think I'll do another one sometime.
Are you gonna and that was just that's not like the Gallery Mostasa brand. You're not like putting
No.
the name on the wall. That's just an accent kind of
Yeah,
mural.
it was just when you walked down the sidewalk and looked into our studio side, it was a big white wall that was just really boring to look at. It like needed a visual presence. So we did that. And then on the other side, we hung a bunch of shelving and put our personal mug collection. So like you're up there,
Ooh.
Jesse, Brian. So it has kind of like your mug shelf, but it's right by the big glass window, right by the sidewalk on Main Street. So people are, it's funny. People will walk down and then they'll like back up and double take and just look at these mugs for a while
Right.
and then they'll move on. So yeah, it's real cool.
Do you want them to pick them up when they come in, or is it high enough that they
No,
can't reach
we,
them? You can just see it.
no, it's level with them. It's high enough Natalia can't touch them. Um,
Well, that's
that's our,
good. If you
that's our
want to
one year
keep
old.
the pots.
God, that girl is a freaking earthquake. Um, we have a sign we need to get printed. We have it designed and everything. That just says like this is our personal collection of artist friends from around the world. Um, we have them here to look good, but also to spark creation in the classroom or inspiration of what can be done with clay. So like Cardboard Tim has a mug up there, so I mean, people can look at it and be like, "That's not clay," and you pick it up, and sure enough. So yeah, it's there obviously to look good and fill space, but to show people the possibilities that clay presents.
Right. I remembered you had, and I was thinking about this weekend because I need to do something like it. The sign for the soda fired pots
Yeah.
that explains more about what it's all about.
Hmm.
And I need something like that in my booth
Oh, for
to
sure.
at least
People,
spark something because generally I will see if they have an eye toward it and they pick something up. But the way my booth was configured this weekend, it was kind of weird. It was kind of a weird configuration where I was behind the shelving, but I was kind of the side of the shelving, and there wasn't a great spot to just engage with them when they were picking it up without talking to their side or their back.
hmm
So I need some signage to kind of spark that. And your sign's not that extensive. I think it's maybe two or three sentences, if I remember right, about soda fired pots and kind of what's involved in the
we have
process.
two. There's one that is what is soda fired pottery, and then we have another sign that says why is soda fired pottery so expensive? Well, more expensive than the rest.
Hmm.
Just explaining the steps necessary,
Right.
like how you have to grind it compared to like sanding, and you don't just push play on a kiln and go to bed. But then like the actual scientific of what it is on the other pot. Like what is soda fire pottery or on the other sign, sorry.
Right. So I'm gonna get one of those printed. I might have you snap a photo of yours and I'll use bits of that or something and tweak it a little bit. I got my little spiel that I say, but usually it's so if you notice this area of pots are a little different than everything else I have. Everything else is fired in an electric kiln. These are fired in what's called a soda kiln, which uses propane instead of electricity, and each of the pots are a one of one. They're going to vary depending on where it's at in the kiln, how the firing went, and you can see that, two pots that are made the same way aren't going to look the same. So that's kind of my like
Hmm.
short spiel.
That was really good.
Yeah. So,
Delivered it very nicely.
yeah, I've said it a few times, but I don't know, like So because I did that show this weekend, and I was looking at my numbers compared to last year. My total ended up being, oh, he just dropped off. He'll jump back on here in a second. Let me pause this for a second. Hopefully his phone did not die. All right, while he's jumping back on, I'm going to tell you about L&L Kilns because we need to do this. So he's talking about firing all these pots. I'm sure if you're loading up a whole bunch of pots throughout the season, you want that consistency, especially when you've got like, hundreds of pumpkins. I don't He does not have L&L kilns, but if you want consistency from top to bottom, you might need a kiln that is reliable with your glazes. You know how much the glaze is going to run in this area of the kiln. You know how much it's going to run in that area of the kiln. And I appreciate the zone control in my L&Ls. Um, it's really reliable. They've got three thermocouples, top, middle, bottom, in my 7 cubic foot kilns, and it makes it really, really reliable when I'm firing, loading. In the past, I might have had to worry about making sure I had a certain height of post at the bottom and then make sure I stagger them pretty good so that I can even out that heat. But the zone control is pretty good setting on there to keep it even from top to bottom. And I've been pretty appreciative of the consistency that these kilns are providing. So definitely look up the kilns on hotkilns.com and see what they've got available. You can see all the how-to information on their website for he's back. I was talking about L&L kilns while you dropped off since you left me.
I'm sitting there and all of a sudden Ryan's like, I was looking at my notes from last year and I was like, okay, are you gonna keep
Beep.
talking? It's like, are you gonna say anything else about last year? And I look over and my phone's black. I was like, oh shit, I pulled it off the charger.
I was like, while he's getting reconnected, I'm going to tell you about L&L kilns.
Pulled the Becca on you.
Hold it, Becca. Um, yeah, let me book in the L&L. I did say hotkilns.com, but yeah, I was talking about the zone control and firing consistently, and that you might want to make sure that your glazes are coming out consistent no matter where you put them in the kiln. Put them in the kiln. So yeah, if you want to look up more about the zone control, see what kilns they have available, you can look up hotkilns.com and see what they got available. So
I didn't hear that. Can you do it again?
no, you got it. They heard it twice, so I'll trust that they heard it. So
Love it.
I was back to the show situation. So it was the Berea Craft Festival. I did it last year and I broke about 4,000 this year. I was close to about 3,500. So down a little bit, which kind of to be expected, I think, but it's hard to gauge like what changes. I mean, I was kind of expecting it was lower because all the shows have been lower, but something like changing the booth. I think you might have saw my booth set up a little bit. I have the new standing shelves with the table and everything compared to the kind of outer L tables where I'm behind it and they can see me and talk to me pretty easily because I'm pretty accessible with the lower tables. But so it was kind of, I don't know, it was kind of a different situation where I didn't feel super comfortable with how I could engage with people.
Hmm.
And also I had an inner L, so people had to come all the way into the booth to engage with the work and everything. I mean, I think the booth looks less cluttered that way this year, but it's hard to gauge if my like average interaction amount, because I would say I probably interacted with people less this year than last year, and I feel
So
like
just
the
a
rain was
personal
pretty
thing.
consistent. Yeah, it's hard. Yeah, I'm kind of like thinking it's still a new configuration, so I'm like kind of spitballing with Rachel a little bit of like how like could we configure this a different way, or like do I want the shelving there but I fill it less so I can actually see people through the gaps in the shelving unit so I can be behind it, but they can still see my face.
Why did you get new shelving?
Uh, well, they were handed down from me from another potter, and I thought they looked more professional with horizontal shelves
Dude, but
than
what you were doing was working so well. Why change it?
I don't know. Well, I think the tables probably could have impacted my show quality of like getting into shows, my booth shop.
Oh, yeah, yeah, okay. So you're
So
wanting to work your way up to bigger shows.
or just more confidence that I'm gonna get into certain, shows that I've been in before. But I don't
Hmm.
know, like, would it be weird to have the booth shot be with that shelving unit and then I show up and I use the tables?
Yeah,
Yeah, that'd be a
I
little
think
weird.
so.
I mean, I could do a combination. I could do one long shelving unit and a table, and I'm behind the table so they can still kind of engage with me and access the shelving.
Hmm.
I don't know. I did kind of a half and half of that at the Kentucky Crafted Market in March, but that was indoors, so I didn't have to worry about the shelving falling over or anything. Because having the
Yeah.
L of shelving is more stable than just having one shelving unit.
Okay, can you do something else? Can you change one thing at a show and see if it affects something? Like, so you just changed your shelves. Will you change one more variable, do a science experiment, and see if it affects your sales?
Yeah, I think you're gonna tell me something or I'm
Yeah,
gonna
I have
I
an
ha
idea. I'm just saying, would you do it if I tell you?
I mean, it depends on what it is. I'm not gonna,
Mhm.
I'm not just
You have,
you're gonna be like wear a tuxedo or something, and I'm gonna be like,
no.
no, I'm not wearing a
I
tuxedo.
was gonna say wear a tank top and sunglasses.
No, 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 no. I don't want to cover my eyes. I never like the
Well,
never
let's see if
never
the
want to do
shirts
the sunglasses.
actually are the shirts really selling? Because when I wear a nice shirt, it works. So I think it does.
I think it makes an impact. So you want me to
I
intentionally dress down
yeah,
for the occasion to risk lower sales and see if it
you're you're
hurts
gonna
me?
be fine. You're Ryan Derman. You're gonna be fine.
My I think my variable I was considering was removing one of the shelves. So taking
Oh,
one of
okay.
them out at like at eye level, where I can look through and not be intrusive, or not intrusive, not um, not have them have to look through pots to see me. They can still be
Yeah.
browsing and everything, but they can engage with me reliably without me feeling like I got to go out of my way.
Yeah, I think it does have an effect because like when I'm at my wheel here throwing and people walk in, I'm in plain view. I'm right in the very center. And talking to them is no problem. But if I'm back glazing pots, I have to look through all my shelves of like bisqueware to like see them. Like I can definitely get to where I can make straight eye contact and say, "Hey, how's it going back here glazing pots?" You know. And when I'm back there, it's a lot less sales. Like I have that feel like, oh, there's not that human interaction and back there working compared to like. So I feel like looking through stuff to talk to people.
It's a barrier. You're creating
Yeah,
it's a physical barrier that is blocking, even though they can hear you. Like they want to be able to see where that's coming from and
for
not be
sure.
surprised or feel like they're causing you to stop what you're doing or change something that you're doing to
Hmm.
feel like they're inconveniencing you.
Yep.
There was something I was watching recently that was talking about first impressions.
Huh?
It was and they were talking about there's so many, first impression, let's say you're at a job interview, if you're looking at your phone and then you look up when they call your name or whatever, like the first impression's already done. They were looking at you, the top of your head while you were looking down at your phone. That's already gonna start you off at a worse first impression. Like it's not starting from when you actually look and make eye contact. It's when they
Right.
first see you. So it was something about, I was thinking about that at the show of, not looking at I tend to not try to look at my phone too much anyways or be on my phone because it's going to impact, even if you're looking down and then you glance up and look at people, but you're having hundreds of first impressions with people throughout an entire weekend and you can really adjust how you're, do a little social experiment of do I have better sales because I'm actually looking up regularly.
Mm,
I guess it depends on if you have like a resting bitch face or, you don't look happy to be there or whatever, but he's raising his hand over there. If you
totally.
look like you don't want to be there and people don't want to engage with you, then it's going to impact, but if you can change that variable of, okay, I'm going to be engaging and willing to talk to somebody,
Yeah, right.
and it's going to like start things off in a good spot.
Hmm.
But then the risk is the risk of the taking the shelving out is that I have less pots to display, but is that going to impact it very much? Maybe I just put less pots out overall and I can shift things around and still.
Yeah, for sure. When you sell, just pull more out.
Yeah. Because there were some pots that I had and I only sold like cocktail glasses. I had half a shelf of cocktail glass. I sold one cocktail glass the whole weekend. And then I had these vases at the top and these utensil holders. I sold none of either. I think I sold one utensil holder and no vases. So, removing that top shelf or maybe moving the oil bottles up to the top shelf, but you kind of want it within reach so it's not too far out of reach so it's uncomfortable for them to reach for. So it's got to be approachable. Not
Hmm.
feel like they're going to like knock the shelving unit over just to engage with it.
Right.
I don't know. These
That's
are the
my
kind of
biggest
things I
problem.
think about at shows when I'm trying to see where I can make adjustments here and there to improve things, but it was a big change going from the tables to the shelving. So
Oh, I bet.
I'm like, man, this is really changing the game of how I engage with people.
Oh, yeah.
But
Oh, I can imagine. Yeah, I remember when we would switch it up there. It was always tough. And like the whole eye level things, I'd load the top shelf up all the time because it was perfect. And then Karina's like, nobody can touch those. Oh, yeah. I'll load
yeah,
them back
yeah,
down.
yeah, to an extent, you don't want to have them have to ask you to get it. I mean, even with the mug tree, the mugs are hanging. I always say, hey, by the way, if you're interested in a mug, they're just looped on there. You can just unhook it and get a feel for it. And there's still some of them are really high, like a lot of people can't even reach them, but I'll, offer to help get them down or whatever. But yeah, it's a trade-off. They can see them in the round easier because they're right there on the corner and you can walk around it,
Right.
but not being able to just pick it up really easily with no effort is a drawback.
Hmm.
So it'd
For
be
sure.
interesting to just remove the mug tree and just put mugs on the shelf, the horizontal shelf, and see if that adjusts how much I'm selling.
You still sell quite a bit of mugs.
I was looking at what I sold this weekend in mugs. Let's see. I sold 10 mugs this weekend. Last year I sold 15,
How many oil bottles?
14. Well, hold on. 14 plus 3 carved ones. So, yeah, 17. Oh, hold on. Plus I think I sold some soda oil bottles too. Let's see. Soda fired. I sold 2 soda fired. So, what was that? 5 and 14. 19. 19 oil bottles.
Not bad.
But the big drop off from last year was I think I sold 33 garlic graters. This year I sold 17.
Oh, wow.
10 spoon rests. I had a bunch of mystery spoon rests. I sold 10 mystery spoon rests, which
What
are
is
just
that?
that's just old stock. I tend to tell people it's glaze tests that I didn't have a lot of that color and I was just kind of seeing what they looked like, or I date all of my work, so it's anything that's 2023 or older, I'll put in there.
Mm,
Or some of my carved ones that didn't come out perfect. There's little subtle issues with them.
yeah.
Those are normally 30, but the typical spoon rests are 20, and these are marked down to 12 as a mystery spoon rest. So it's like a great, just get it and go.
Like a second.
Yeah, I don't really, I mean, the ones that have the little issues for the carved ones are considered seconds probably, but the other ones are just kind of old stock that I want to get rid of.
Hmm.
But
Yeah,
people
for
were
sure.
people were all over those.
People love a deal.
Yeah, they love a deal. The little sign that just said mystery spoon rest, and some people were like, "What is that?" And one lady was, I told her what it was. It's just a random spoon rest. They look like these. And she's like, "Oh, but I just didn't understand, like, why is it a mystery?" I'm like, "Because they're already bagged up." I'm like,
Oh, so you just pull and give it to them.
it's already in a paper sleeve,
Oh,
and
so they don't even know what they're getting?
yeah, it's in a paper sleeve and it's stapled.
Oh, I thought it was just like they still got to go through.
No, they're all in like the craft paper sleeves. So
So
they're
it
they're
really is
down
a
in there
mystery to
and
them.
it's folded in half and it's stapled and they're just in one bin all together. So they get to pick through the, you know, 20 that are in there, whichever one they
Oh,
want.
wow. Whoa. Okay. I like it.
So yeah, that was a good little nice way to get rid of some stuff. I do that with mugs sometimes. I didn't take any this show, but I'll have old mugs from, back when that didn't sell or whatever, and I'll put them in a
Mm,
box and they're like $20 if they're a second and $25 if they're a first, but they're just old or a test or
yeah.
whatever. So I'm just trying to like get it out the door.
That reminds me, we've been looking for an old gumball machine to do that, like make little tokens and
Oh
just
yeah.
put them in those little clear balls and you pay a dollar or 50 cents or whatever and you get a little clear ball with a token and some are just like have like a smile or something. But then every now and then you'll have one that says like free mug or $20 off. So and then when somebody so like put a sign that says like your chance at a $20 gift card. But if somebody gets that one, you put it back in. So there's always that chance at it. Um, so kind of a mystery for a dollar. Kind of fun.
hmm There's a
But
situation where did you end up looking for some? Did you
yeah, we've
find
looked
any?
all over. We haven't found what we wanted yet. No.
Okay. Are you gonna make the tokens too?
Yeah, they would. Yeah, so everything would be handmade. Um,
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
or like a little Christmas ornament or a magnet or something that would be in there.
Nice. There was a situation this weekend where a guy was haggling for a soda cup. It was a
Uh,
little sipper cup, and I was telling him about the. Well, we kind of went back and forth a little bit. He stopped by once and was looking at it, was playing, picking it up, and they're all $30. So he was trying to see, ooh, he picked one specific one up like four times. He picked up a few others. He's like, oh, they're all 30. Like, you don't have any others. He really liked it, and then he, was like, I'll think about it, and I'll, walked off. And then he came back and he was like, I really like this. I was thinking about it. I just don't want to pay. Like, can we do anything about the 30? He's like, I'm thinking about it. And I said, well, I have a number in mind. And he was like, I do too, but I was thinking like half. And I was like, well, I was thinking like 25. He was like, eh, what about 20? And we were kind of going back and forth. And I was like, 25. And he's like, 22.50, which is like right in between. He was thinking 15. I was thinking 20, 30. So
right.
22.50, kind of right in the middle. Um, I was like, 25. And then he's like, are you sure you wouldn't take 22.50? I was like, I don't even think you have 50 cents, do you? And he was like, I do. And I was like, well, if you have 50 cents, I'll sell it to you for 22.50. And he pulled out two coins and all that. And then I told him about the whole situation back when I think I told this on the podcast about the lady that wanted a discount and I flipped a coin for it.
Mhm.
Do you remember that story?
No.
So she was shopping. I think it was her and a couple friends or something. They were shopping around or whatever, and they were looking for this thing, and they were saying, oh, this one guy or whatever was offering 10% or whatever for so and so. And I was like, I don't know about that. And then we got to it, and I said, I'll make it you a deal. I have a coin. If we flip a coin and you call it right, I'll give you 10% off. And if you call it wrong, you just pay the price. And I think she ended up she got it, she called it right, she got the discount or whatever, and then she like cheered and everybody was excited or whatever. And we were talking about on the podcast, and I told Becca about it, and we were kind of settling on the story of, you offer the discount, but you have the opposite of it. If they don't guess right, then you charge them more money. So you say,
Yeah, I was gonna say,
are you willing to flip it to say, if you get it right, you pay less money, you pay 10% less, or if you get it wrong, you pay 10% more.
yeah, that's what I thought you were gonna say you did.
So well, that was the first iteration, the lady with the 10% less. So I think she got a 10% off or 15% off or whatever it was. And then I'm thinking this for the future. So I told the dude about the 20% thing that, you flip it, you get it wrong, you get 20% more, or you get it right, you pay 20% less, and like what you'd be willing to do. And I was asking my dad about it, and he was like, I'd be willing to do that. Hell yeah, I'd be willing to pay more if I got it wrong. And I'm like, but you gotta like do it. You gotta follow through. You can't just be like, oh well, I'm not gonna, buy it or whatever.
Mhm.
And then I'm like, if the odds were different, would you like what is the limit of what you would be willing to do? Because I'm making up the game, so shouldn't the odds be kind of in my favor for the game? Like let's say they flip it right, they get 15% off, or if they get it wrong, they pay 20% more.
No, it's just even 15
It
50.
should just be even 50%.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I'm like, what percentage would it be worth it? If it was 10% and
And I mean, if they're
10%,
not
would it
willing
be
to do it,
worth
be
it?
like, all you gotta do is be like, I mean, yeah, I'm willing to go down 10% for you, but you also have to be willing to go 10% for me. I mean, otherwise, it's just not even fair. Or you can just not flip the coin and pay the 30.
Exactly. Yeah. So we'll see. I'm gonna tweak that a little bit. I think if somebody asks for a discount, I think I might
I'm
go
still under
that
the
route on the
impression.
next one.
I'm still under the impression. He asked for a discount, just wrap it up and give it to him and say, you know what? You need your money more than I do. Take the cut. Seriously, why
And then
not?
at the end, he said, "I do appreciate you willing to haggle me on this a little bit." So it was kind of interesting. I don't know. I don't know. There's that stuff looming, and then he was offering 20, and then my dad was chiming in. He was like, "I'm willing to pay the $5. Just give it to him for 20." And I'm like, "You're not gonna pay his $5 and he
You're
pay
not
less." Like,
helping. You're not helping Carlos.
yeah, he would have given it to him at whatever he wanted the price at. At least he didn't, chime in and say, "Oh yeah, you can have it for 15." It's like, dude, that's not yours to sell.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, no. But yeah, the thing looming in the back of my head of like, you need to value your work and you don't want to discount and like you need to stand firm. But like in the moment, you kind of get that dance a little bit, and then you're like, I kind of enjoy this back and forth
Oh,
slightly. But
yeah,
then
it's
it's,
fun.
it's and then that feeling of, you know, I don't know if you've done this, but all like willingly giving something at a discount when they've said this is what I want, and you you know you go with whatever they want to charge for it rather than feeling confident enough to go back and forth.
I don't know. I think it's always fun to just like the surprise, like, hey, dude, will you give me this cup for 20 bucks? I'll be like, I will, but I also get your watch. Like, give me something too. Why do I got to give you 10 bucks? Yeah, I'm gonna give it to you, but I need that sandwich in your hand as well. Like a little surprise at them.
You've done
I don't
that?
know. No, I'm just saying. I mean, I've very seldomly been asked to lower a price. But I just always like,
You
I
throw
don't
them, you
know.
throw them off a little bit.
I like to throw up. Didn't you see my story the other day when we pulled up a Chick-fil-A and Karina goes, don't be weird. I always just have something dumb to say, you know?
Right.
Like, that's just my brand.
Yeah, I think when I mean, if you throw them a curveball, it's going to change the dynamics a little bit. They might have the upper hand initially in some scenarios because they're confident in what they're asking for, and then they throw
Hmm.
you off and you're kind of on the defensive. But if you come back with something witty,
Right.
then you kind of make them like, oh.
I don't know about 30. Do you think you could go 20? I'll be like, you know what? I'll take 32.50. Like, raise it on them, see what they say.
And then there's some firmness of you could be a little bit of an asshole about it. Not an asshole, but like stick to your guns with it. And sometimes they'll stick with you, or sometimes they'll just like you got to be willing to let them like walk off.
Oh, yeah. You're gonna sell that piece at some point. You don't need their money. You're gonna get the money. So mess with them. I mean, they're messing with you too. Would you take
Right.
30? No, but I'll take 32.50. Wait, what? 35? Like just work it up, you know.
Yeah. It's like
Have fun.
32.50. That's what it is with tax, you know?
I mean, he's wanting to haggle because he's wanting to have fun. So you just return the fun and just mess with him too. Oh,
Hmm.
so 30 did sound good? Oh, okay, yeah, let's do 30.
Oh, you didn't like, oh, that was actually discounted to 30. It's actually worth 40. You didn't, you know.
Or like look at the cup he wants and then find the ugliest glaze and be like, no, that one's 30, but that one over there is 22.50.
Yeah.
Don't let him get the one he wants.
You could buy a different one. Yeah, he picked that one up 5 times. You could be like, the other sippers that you want, these other ones are actually I'm willing to part with, but not the one that you want.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was my favorite glaze, actually. So you can have that one over there. Or go pick up something random that's like a shot glass and be like, you could take this for 22.50.
Yeah. These spoon rests are cheaper, you know. You can get a spoon rest
Yeah.
for 20 bucks. He was gonna have wild turkey in it. He was gonna sip his wild turkey out of it.
Oh,
We did
geez.
we did have a little back and forth, you know. I was like, "Yeah, you could put these in the freezer if you want." And he's like, "No, I don't like drinking my wild turkey cold."
Oh, wow.
It's like I like it room temperature. I don't put any ice in it or anything. So he's like, "I'm just looking to sip my wild turkey with it." Yeah.
I will give this to you at a discount, but I need a selfie that I can put in my stories and call you a cheapskate.
This is the man that wanted this cup for $15.
Yeah. If you see him at a show, give him crap.
Yeah. I told him I need to see him at another show and he can tell me you know, how it's going. I can see him at another show, so we'll see.
Heck yes.
Do you want to do a maker of the moment?
Let's get it.
Let's get it. Do you want to start or do you want me to start?
I'll start.
All right. I gotta get into Becca mode here and pull the accounts up and share them on our stories and all that stuff. So, all right, who we got? Who we starting with?
Okay, I found this guy a while back, and it took me a little bit to find his handle. But let me check here quick. Yeah, make sure I get it right. It's Riverwood Pottery.
Riverwood Pottery.
Riverwood Pottery. He's
That
up in a little
sounds
town.
familiar.
I've seen his stuff here and there. He's in a little town, says here, Shipshewana, Indiana, up in northern Indiana. Part-time farmer, part-time potter,
Farmer. Nice.
and displays his farm stuff on his pots. But I kind of like how he incorporates kind of mixed media. Sometimes he'll throw on some different bike handles and like hammer handles.
Does a mixture of slip casting and throwing.
Yep, yep. So I mean, just kind of does it all.
He's got some nice handles for sure.
Like a jack of all trades, master of none. But very
Mm.
good. Yeah, no, it's good work. I like his stuff. Name
Riverwood
is
Pottery. What's his name?
Jesse Woodworth.
Okay, I definitely know Jesse. Yeah, yeah.
You know Jesse?
Yeah, we've spent some time together at the pottery tour, Michigan pottery tour. Yeah, I think you
Oh,
might see
that's
him there
right.
too.
He is part of that. I forgot.
Yeah,
Does
him
he
and
have to stop there?
yeah, him and Becca were buddying up the last couple
Oh,
years.
that's right. Becca was in his spot for sure.
Yeah, I've
Okay.
actually got one of his mugs. I got one of his soda fired. I think it's got a what's the ball peen hammer? Is that what it is?
Oh yeah.
I got one of those soda fired with the ball peen.
Love it.
He's doing a Beal Pottery summer camp coming up too.
A what pottery?
The Beal Pottery summer camp.
What is that?
It's at the Beals. They're doing a little 2 week summer camp thing for adults where they're doing different lessons.
Oh, that's sweet.
Like each day, they've got different artists coming through and doing. It looks like Jesse's doing mold making 101, intro to slip casting,
Oh, that'd be cool.
and then our buddy Meg's in there. Brian
Our
Wilkerson's in there.
buddy Meg.
Yeah,
Meg. She going to pottery tomorrow?
actually, I don't know. I meant to look at well, I was looking at the Pottery Tour website earlier. I need to look through there and see. Look at that. Jesse's work is right there on Pottery Tour page. All right, let's see. Is she in here? 'Cause she was at Jesse's stop last year, the last couple years. Oh, Deanna's gonna be there. Deanna's gonna be at Justin's stop. Nice. Um,
Who's Deanna?
Deanna Polsma,
I don't
jewelry
know that
from
name.
Indiana.
Hmm.
She's our friend from Indianapolis.
Hmm.
I do not see Meg on the list actually, so maybe she will not be at Pottery Tour.
I bet she still comes though.
She probably will. All right, we're gonna do a little shout out here. Oh, turn the volume down. Maker of the moment. Courtesy of Isaac Shue.
Yeah.
He's gonna love that, I'm sure.
Throw a bone.
Riverwood Pottery. How long have you known Jesse?
Too long.
College
Feels like
days?
feels like ages. No, actually. We went to the same college. I was actually in his brother's class, but I never knew him. And yeah, if you didn't know already, me and Jesse are pretty good buddies. Um, we met basically. I was looking for colored decals. I'd only been using the sepia, and I knew he had used some at some point, but he was using like some screen printed ones. It wasn't the actual printed ones like we use now. And somehow I forget how I got his name, but I reached out to him and um he basically said, yeah, I get him from like South Africa, maybe. I don't know. I wasn't interested in it. And then he reached out maybe a year or two later after I got the printer and was wanting some to try those out. And so I just said, hey, give me a phone call. It's a little easier to explain this process. And he called and I printed for him and just kind of hit it off.
It all started there.
And then his wife is from, well, now that I'm in Newton, his wife's from like 10 minutes, 15 minutes from here. But from Harper, it was about 2 hours. But when they would go visit his wife, he'd drive down to Harper, and we would hang out. So, and then he came out 2 years and threw mugs for us, like piece rate. So I think he did 500 mugs 1 year, and I think he did 750 the next year. So he
Shit.
threw them. He threw them, and I handled them. Dude, those were like the most fun days in the studio. He was just cranking mugs, and I was handling, and we'd watch The Office, and yeah, it was a good time. Wish it could happen again, but
Did you still have people throwing mugs at that scale for you or no?
no. Becca did once, and Jesse did twice.
You're scaring them off. Nobody
I
can stand to be
know.
around you for that long.
Oh, don't even put it that way.
I'm just fucking with you.
People should like give me a premium for letting that happen.
I know they should pay you piece rate for
They
being in
should.
your presence for that.
Seriously.
The the honor of throwing pottery for Isaac Shue.
Yeah. Quote unquote. No, I haven't found anybody that I trust enough yet.
You got
I don't
some high
know.
standards. You got some.
I do. I think it made Becca mad. I know that. Jesse, man, he would throw this mug and it would be, I don't know, 97%. I'm like, no, that one doesn't count. He's like, the hell? Why not? It's like, well, that curve is wrong. He's like, there's no curve. It's a straight mug. And I'm like, exactly. You don't have it straight. Like, poor guy.
He's like, why don't you just slip cast these?
Yeah. No, I'm not doing that. I love throwing. I love a
Yeah.
throwing mug.
All
So who's
right.
your maker?
So y'all can look up Jesse, Riverwood Pottery. My maker is Amy Troster, Cultivar Goods. She is the education coordinator at the KC Clay Guild, actually. Kansas City Clay Guild.
Hmm.
Do you know her work?
I do not. No.
Amy. So it is, I don't know if I can, maybe I can share it in the chat or text you and you can kind of look at it. But here, I'll see if I can share it in the chat's on your phone, so you probably can't do it in the chat. But her work, she's got some,
What was the handle?
it is Cultivar Goods, Cultivare Goods. So she's
Oh,
got some
cool.
different, it looks like maybe underglaze transfer or some, some resist, maybe some vinyl stickers with some
Yeah.
painted underglaze or something like that, and then kind of layered it up. It's a lot of bright colors, very tropical looking, just kind of gives you some nice simple. And then
Yeah,
there's
they
some
look pretty
simple
cool.
ones, some vinyl, maybe some vinyl covered stickers, and then she puts the white glaze on some of them. Whew, I gotta figure out which one I'm gonna share. Oh, I like the simplicity of that one. All right. She's using a lot of speckled buff, it looks like. I really like the warmness of that. She's got a lot of tropical kind of colors or tropical kind of themes with the monstera leaves and kind of resisting the glazes. So sticking them on there, glazing, and then peeling them off, kind of reveal the buff clay. That's nice. Maker of the moment, courtesy Ryan. All right, I'm getting that shared to the Instagram. That's Amy. Cultivar Goods. All right, there we go. Saved. All right, so y'all can look them up. Also like the backdrops. These are pretty good photos. She's got like a terrazzo kind of base and then like I don't know what you'd call that. It looks kind of like a fake marble sort of backdrop, but it's like a what's the painted that kind of makes it look cloudy and stuff. I don't know what that technique is, but it's got some nice photo backgrounds for the bright pots.
Batik.
Batik?
Yeah. Isn't that the like cloudy, like wax painting? I don't know.
I don't know.
I paint
I don't know.
murals, Ryan. I don't paint pictures.
I don't know. She's got some nice looking product photos though. It's nice to scroll through somebody's feed and just see a lot of like see what their products actually look like. I almost feel guilty sometimes with my feed. I don't show enough of my actual products just as is. So it's nice to scroll through and see folks that post a lot of product photos. Okay, so those are our makers of the moment. And before we go to our maker of the moment, our topic, which is just going to be some back and forth with Isaac, did you know we got a new sponsor? You actually contributed a little bit
Mm-hmm.
to this
Waiting
new
on my
sponsor.
paycheck.
Yeah. So the ceramic shop is supporting us this month, and they've got a ton of new products. They've got some different ones that we talked about last time, which was the Ngobes, the Amico crawls. And they also have a bunch of in-house products that they make themselves, like hydro bats, which are like the plaster bats you might want to throw on to throw plates on. Maybe they pop off nicely. They also have some wax on, wax off products for, you're
Dude,
trying to,
that wax on stuff is awesome.
You use it? The bit
Oh, it's all I
isn't
use
that
anymore. It's like purple.
yeah,
Yeah, that's all I use anymore.
is it?
Dude, legit, the best wax I've ever used.
What do you use it on? The pumpkins
Everything.
or everything?
Everything.
Our
Yeah, it dries like
products.
instantly. You don't need hardly any. I've had a gallon. It's lasts me like a year. Yeah, it is. It is great.
Yeah, it's the purple one, wax on.
What's the wax off? I don't.
It says the wax on is a water-based wax resist that dries quickly. It was created to eliminate problematic dripping and tacky surfaces. And then
Yep,
let's
does that.
see the difference between the wax off. Removable wax off resist is a latex wax hybrid that we've created for potters and decorative artists, designed to have a resistant property of regular wax but could be peeled away. So it sounds kind of like a
Oh,
latex resist sort of.
okay, cool. Yeah.
This glaze masking allows for endless possibilities. Must be removed before firing. So you got to make sure to get that one off. But yeah, you kind of hear about a lot of different wax products. I mean, there's a lot of, the water-based ones, and then there's ones you've got to paint. I tend to use the paraffin wax that needs to be melted and dipped,
This stuff's gross.
but it's a mess in the
Smells
kiln and smells and
awful.
you're burning and
Does it not go up in your house at all? Like your vent takes care of all that?
the vent tends to take care of it, but it does loom a little bit.
Oh gosh, dude.
So it's yeah, I tend to try to limit how many pots I'm putting in there with wax on them. But yeah, they got all kinds of products that they make in house. They got a bunch of stilts that they make. There's some molds, there's some decals. They've even got a run of glazes too. So you can check out their site. They've got discounts going on all the time. If you're looking at some of the products that we've talked about on the podcast all the time, whether it's the L&L kiln, the speedball glazes, underglazes, all that stuff. There's always discounts going on. You can go to theceramicshop.com, and if you use code WheelTalk10, capital W, WheelTalk, the number 10, you can save $10 off your order of $75 or more. Isaac, do you remember the little jingle that Becca came up with? Or do you want to do your jingle?
No, did
No?
that one time.
All right, the Becca jingle. It's a one-stop shop. Theceramicshop.com. Not as good as Becca, but that's what we got.
Oh my gosh.
All right. So, folks, support them. Let them know we sent you, and that could help us continue the sponsorship going forward. So that
I
would
will
be.
say I've ordered from them before.
Have you?
Yep. Hydrobat.
Nice.
Yep. It's a good product.
Yeah, I need to try some of those hydro baths. I'll be throwing some plates here soon, but
Yeah, I
might
got the
go.
big boy
Oh,
for
really?
platters. Oh yeah. It's a big one.
Let's see the hydro. I want to see the hydro bat. Yeah, they go up pretty wide here, and they've got hump molds that are bats too, like wide ones, 18-inch, 20-inch. Damn, sweet. All right, check them out. And all right, so the topic kind of discussion I wanted to kind of ask Isaac about today was, I mean, it sounds a little flighty, like in the clouds a little bit to say like, you know, like are you a dreamer or do you have like big goals or dreams and how do you like aspire to them and or like that sounds a little bit, vague initially, but that was kind of the spark of what I was thinking. And then kind of like the pragmatic side of it to kind of get down to what might be beneficial for people to kind of chew on a little bit with talking with Isaac about it is, it kind of when we were at ClayCon West and listening to you talk about, some of these big goals and the evolution of the business over time and how you've kind of worked toward that little by little, but also taking big jumps along the way,
Hmm.
and how it's, you know, I'm sure some of it hasn't worked out, but how you've moved through it and kind of, stepped up the plate and kind of made it work. And some of that, how that's changed a little bit over time, whether it's, okay, now I know what I'm capable of, so I'm willing to take bigger risks the next time. I mean, it feels like you keep outdoing yourself, of like the next big risk is still like a dream goal, it feels like.
Mm.
And I guess the kind of, for people that don't know, like, what is the short and sweet, like, big jumps that you've made maybe over the past, I don't know, like 5 years or whatever?
Um, well, first of all, just quitting your job, quitting everything, every source of income we just cut off just so we could focus on pottery, which was extremely scary. No insurance, no retirement, no guaranteed check. Um, I guess that also came after we just randomly in the middle of COVID decided to buy a house that was twice the size of what we were in because it had a cool little space we could make a gallery and a studio, and it was out in the country. And that it seemed to work. And then that's when we quit our jobs too. And I don't know, I don't feel like we have like a 5-year goal that we like dream. I feel that we just try to keep 1 year ahead or a step ahead. Um, and we're doing everything necessary to do that. Like if we had a 5-year goal, we would do it a little bit better. We wouldn't build a big brand new gallery and sell it in 2 years. Like we would have, like we
Hmm.
honestly thought that was our final goal. And the only reason we built that was out of necessity. Um, and we didn't really plan that at all. Oh, so I guess that's another thing is we bought this house because it had a 600 square foot building that we turned into a gallery or just a store. And within 2 years of that, we were out of space. And so we did a show on Saturday before Christmas. And the following Sunday, 24 hours later, we had a contractor on site looking where we could build something bigger. Just because
Hmm.
we said that was crazy. It was awesome, but we can't do that again. Um, and a lot of that too was we haven't really said it publicly, but we're also, I don't know, 4 years post that, so I don't think it's a problem. But that 600-foot gallery store that we had also had a full basement in it. It was made for a garage. And there was a basement in there where we kept our mower and everything. Nobody knew that. I mean, a lot of people still to this day have no idea that building has a basement. I don't even know if you knew that.
I know,
Um,
yeah, I knew it. I mean, I knew it a little bit before I visited and saw it, but I think you
okay.
told me that it was storage and stuff.
So yeah, it's storage, but this thing was built as a mower shed. Um, but that show we had over 400 people inside of this thing and all of our pots, and we could feel the floor bowing. And when all those people were in there, Karina looked at me and she's like, "This isn't good." Because like if that floor would have caved in, we would have basically just been fucked, and it would have been a bad deal for a lot of different reasons.
Yeah, not just financial and liability. You would have impacted people. Like, you probably, it
We
would
would
have
have
been
ruined
hard to
some
go
people's
back
lives.
to making work and
Well,
living your
yeah,
life. Yeah.
yeah, 100%. I mean, we could have really hurt some people. And that was a big responsibility. And so Karina's more the like, I don't want to say she's more the realist because there's other ways that I'm the realist, but she's the one that, like, I'm a tight ass. I'm not going to spend money. Karina, she's not a spender, like out of control, like going out shopping, but she's one that she's going to spend money on the business to make it good. She's the reason we're successful. I'm just the one who will go out and tell the story. She's too quiet. I mean, she should be on all these interviews. She should be the one speaking at ClayCon. It's her business, and I'm not scared to say that. I make the pots, she makes them look good. She makes the business look good. She makes the building look good. And she might come down here in a second. If she does, I'll make her say something. But we had that show that Saturday, and after we closed, we actually had a show that night in Wichita. It was crazy. We're on our way to that show, and she goes, "We're not doing another show in that building." I was like, "Bullshit, we're not. Like, what are we gonna do? We just bought this property for that building." And she's like, "It's not safe." And I'm like, it's not gonna fall." And she's like, "You want to take that risk?" I was like, kind of, because I don't think it will happen. She's like,
Right.
"No, we're
You're
not
like, we'll
doing it."
just control the amount of people coming in at one time. We won't have more than 20
Yeah,
people in there. It'll be
yep,
fine.
yep.
How likely is that actually going to happen? We can reinforce it a little bit. We can put a little band-aid on it.
hmm
Yeah.
And so literally, like, we're staying a step ahead. And
But like the huge gap, like you could have built something half the size. And
that was well, that was Saturday. Sunday, literally Sunday, we had a contractor out there looking. Our property was 5 acres. We already had a 2,500 square foot house and a 600 square foot building. There was one other area on the lawn that we could fit something decent size. It was at an angle, like it didn't even match up like square with the house. And we built this new gallery to the maximum size that would fit on that little hill. They still had to bring some dirt in to just make it actually fit in there. And so we went from a 600 square foot gallery to we built a 2,000 square foot gallery. And the reason, like she said, we have to get somebody out there tomorrow because we have to make up what we want to do. We have to get a budget. We have to get on their timeline, and we have to have this thing built by next Christmas. We have 364 days
right.
because we're not doing a show in there. And so we literally busted it, and this thing cost, I don't know, it was like 130, $150,000, and we built this gallery. And I mean, we're not going to half-ass it. We built the thing to look good. Um, we put in what we needed to. I mean, this was our business. This was our livelihood. And if we're going to do it, we're going to we're going to make people say wow when they walk in. Like, and I've always
Hmm.
said people people have asked how do you do it? And I always kind of say like you don't go to a garage sale and walk in and say, "Yeah, I want to spend my money here." But you walk into a really nice restaurant and you don't care about spending money because it's about the experience. And it's the same thing with like the gallery, like in Harper. People walked in and I remember somebody said, "This place does not belong in Southern Kansas." But that's the thing is like you go in and you have an experience, you have that feel. It's the same thing with setting up your booth. If you just brought in a card table that was half scratched up and painted on, no tablecloth, like if you do your booth right, people will spend money because they feel good in your booth. And
Hmm.
it's the same thing with a gallery. A gallery is just not, you know, 10 by
Right.
10. A gallery is 50 by
And it's
40.
and some of the little things make a big difference too. If you're sitting back there in a Dick's Sporting Goods lawn chair, that's
Hmm
going to impact. If you're wearing a shirt that's a t-shirt that, is whatever, it's got some
Right.
brand, something on it that's like, it kind of doesn't match the experience that you're trying to convey with the
hmm
product and the value and
hmm
that you have credibility, what you're doing and
Right. Right. And so, yeah, I don't like going back to that. We didn't really have this dream of this gallery life. It just kind of fell in our lap, and we're trying to tame this thing as we grow it. It's like flying the airplane. It's like building the airplane as you fly it. Um, and we literally built that gallery huge, quote unquote, huge, 2,000 square feet, friggin' huge to show pots. Um, because we said this is the end goal. Like this is our final thing. I mean, who's gonna outgrow that? You know what I mean? Like that's you were in that gallery. Like
hmm
it's hard to fill that thing. And what we didn't think about was we were now making pots on the other side of the property, firing them in our basement, and then wheeling them out to this gallery. So now and we built a big showroom, but now we were working in three different buildings across 5 acres. And your body's not made to do that. Even though I'm
Yeah.
youngish, I mean,
Yeah, you
I
have new
literally,
problems now that you got, you were in the same
yeah, we
space
didn't,
that the show was going to be in, which you just had to, okay, we have to clean up the space that we were making in to
and
sell in.
it's just two of us people that have no background in business, no background in business design and building design and like what's the product, what's the whole, there's an actual like engineering science of like what's it called? The
Like retail,
no,
like
like the line of
retail
how
stuff.
things are made. Like
Oh,
it's made here, bisqued here, glazed here. Like there's an actual like how it works well. We
right.
weren't doing that. We were doing it bad, but
Mm-hmm.
we were just staying a step ahead. And
Because some of that stuff takes a complete teardown. You would have had to tear down the building that you were making in and rebuild
right.
the whole building as a studio or add on to the gallery to make it all in one building.
Well, see, I mean, then we moved our production, like we were throwing out in the old gallery, but we still had our kilns were wired downstairs because that's where our studio was. So then to rewire all those, I mean, 2 years later, it's going to be a couple $1,000 to move them out to the studio. So we left them downstairs. Well, then I had to carry 12,000 pots a year on little wear boards down a hill and then back up the driveway into the basement. So then we went and we paid freaking tons of money to rip the hill out and build a humongous freaking cement staircase from the studio down to the kilns so we could carry them on wearboards straight down.
Mm-hmm.
And we had the stairway a year and a half before we decided to sell the property and move to where we're at. So it's like we didn't do a good job of let's take let's hire somebody to come in and say, here's what's happened the past 5 years. What's going to happen the next five? Like we've just been winging this thing,
Mm-hmm.
staying ahead of it, and then just I don't know. I think it was Karina's idea. We'll just blame it on Karina that it was her idea to come up here. I mean, we had this 2,000 square foot gallery that we were shoulder to shoulder in show after show. And the last one we had in there, when we opened the doors, it literally people flooded in and you couldn't move. Like there was no movement, like to
Right.
shop. And so we were faced with another problem. This place is too small. We also didn't have a parking lot. We were parking people in our yard. They were overflowing into our neighbors. They were overflowing into our other neighbors. And they were out on the highway. And we would put up banners and flags and try to guide traffic through our yard. And eventually we decided one of our children, or even worse, somebody else's children, is going to get hit. And and like if I lost my kid to somebody running over them at one of our shows just because we were going bigger, I mean, it'd be the worst thing you could ever imagine,
Right.
except somebody else's kid, which would be jail time. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
we didn't have a parking lot; we had a yard. Um, and so as you grow, bigger problems present themselves, and our insurance hated it because we had 800 people in a morning, 500 cars on our yard of 5 acres, and it was a complete shit show. Um,
Right. And then what are you gonna contract with like a local church up the street that's got a parking lot and you've got a shuttle that's taking people back and forth?
yeah, and people don't want to do that. But
Yeah.
people love this experience. Even people have told us we don't mind waiting in line 2 hours. It's like Black Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Like who's seen this before? And so it's this whole let's stay ahead. Okay, now we need something bigger, and then all of a sudden we're in a 5,000 square foot gallery and a 3,000 square foot studio. They're connected,
Mm-hmm.
but we no longer have our lawn. So
So it's
yeah, so
the
that's
yeah, you got city parking now and people have got to figure it out and
well, that's the thing. It's like it's on the city now. I mean, we've told them that we're having our shows. This is what it's been in history. We don't know if it will be the same or not, but the fire marshal says, "Well, how are you going to fit 800 people in your building? Your occupancy is like 250." And I was like, "I guess you can sit out there with a clicker and tell them to stop." And he said, "I'm not doing that." So how am I going to stop? I mean, I don't know. He says, "Let's just see what happens."
I mean,
So I
it's a balance of, it's going to benefit the community surrounding you so much as well that, you're part of, you're not on an island anymore because you're on Main Street,
Right.
Newton,
Right.
that, you are, I'm going to say more vital, but you are bringing people to the city. So,
For
you're
sure.
a valued part of the community.
Right. Right. So yeah, I don't know what'll happen. I mean,
Did
it
you
could be
have
even
dreams
bigger.
that the event, you did the pumpkin patch a couple years in that studio, right? The studio that you were in at the old house, or just the one time?
Yeah, well, we always did the pumpkin patch out on the front lawn. So we would fill the gallery, but then we would also fill the front lawn with pumpkins and make it a whole outdoor event, indoor event. We'd have live music, food trucks. So it's going to be all, we'll clear out the studio here and make it part of it too, not just the gallery. So we have two stores, two storefronts, and the wall in between inside is knocked out. But we have two entrances. We'll probably have two checkout counters, and then we'll funnel everybody straight back through our office out the alley back door, and then they can walk around. Parking lots are all over town, so wherever they're parked, and then we'll just have like volunteers back in the office guiding people through. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
you've been here. You think you see the back wall and you think that's it, and you come to the back and you're like, "Holy shit! There's a huge office back here still."
Yeah.
Um, so people will probably. I mean,
New problems
I
of
don't.
where do you line people up efficiently
Yeah.
that's not
So
blocking people from shopping and
right. So I don't know what'll happen. We're playing it by ear.
so how are you with something like building a gallery or moving an hour and 15 minutes north? How are you weighing the risks of like what you're trading off? You kind of expect that you're going to have a certain amount of response because you've had historical success with, you know, the old house and gallery,
Yeah, well, this is
what's
the one time in life that we actually planned. We asked our good friend Ryan Durbin to
what?
make a. We asked you, you dork. You don't remember that 2 years ago?
You're talking about
To
the
make.
pumpkin list thing?
Yeah, no, you made a survey for us. Was that? Yeah, it was
Oh, the
you.
survey. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So for 2 years at our shows, we've had a friend, and poor lady, she had no idea what she was doing. She just gladly said, "Yeah, I'll do that." She had no. Oh, when we told her we were leaving, she was pissed. Now I know what you were doing. So, anyways, we had this. We had a survey at our shows for the past 2 years where our friend walked around. She was supposed to stand at the checkout counter, but she's extremely ADHD. So imagine Becca with an iPad walking around in our shows, just asking people, "Hey, where are you guys from? And how did you find us?" And that gave us information that 65% of the people at our shows were from between Wichita and Kansas City. And
Mm,
Newton is pretty well smack right in the middle of those two spots. I mean,
right.
it's closer to Wichita, obviously, but it's very much it's very much where our people were located. Yeah, of course, we had a great support in Harper. I mean, we really did. Without that small town, we would never be where we are today. Um, and we recognize that. But at the same time, it was plateauing with the Harper people. They were not showing up to our events anymore just because they were so full of people that they didn't want to wait in line for something local. And then they would come and kind of get the leftovers throughout the next weeks. But yeah, I mean that we did our homework on that part because we knew Harper wasn't our end game forever. Um, I was born and raised there. I didn't want to be there my whole life. Karina's from a city of 2.5, 3 million people. She didn't want to be in a town of 13 to 1,500 people. Um, it was a good place for her to start when she came to the United States, but it wasn't a place where she said, "This is my home." She wanted to raise her kids in a place where there was more than farming and football to do, and that's what Newton provides for us. Um, we've been here 3 months, and it's awesome. Like we love it. We love where we're at. We loved Harper. We loved it when we were there, but we feel this is where we're supposed to be right now. And we often joke that we were in our first house in Harper for 4 years, and then we bought our old property, and we were there 4 years. And in those 4 years, we were in two different galleries, 2 years and 2 years. So we joke we'll be in Newton 4 years, and then we'll move to Kansas City and open something up, and then we'll 4 years, we'll go to Chicago. We're on our way to New York City. So 4 years, Kansas City, 4 years, Chicago, and then we'll hit New York City and we'll be done. But no, I don't think that'll happen. It better
You never
not.
know. You never
I'm done
know.
here, dude. I'm not leaving here.
But do you see realistically like what it would look like that would drive you all to, and this is like in the positive way, the success there that would lead you to, okay, what do we have to do to accommodate? Or because I mean the like quote unquote home show, the local in-house shows have been so much of the backbone of your business. The business would have to drastically shift that you would have to spread those eggs out away from those shows and like change the backbone of your business so much that it's kind of like you could have done that at the old place, but how do you get people to Harper, Kansas versus
Yeah,
how do you spread people out so they're not all coming on like 3 days a year?
right. I think it's a lot more for us is like, how do we just keep the gallery halfway stocked with just our basic line of stuff? So like the stuff that you make for your shows, and then
Hmm.
still continue to do those three openings. I mean, they're very successful. I mean, I don't want to change the pumpkins or Christmas. Our spring show was not anything to write home about. It was just, I mean, it was a basic show. I mean, it still did
You're talking
great.
about you're talking about when it was in Harper.
We do our pumpkins, we do our Christmas, and those are the main shows. But we also do one in spring. But we always invited other artists to that one. It was like a way that we could give back to the community and not just like every time we would do those home shows, we'd always have artists, quote unquote artists, who would text me like, "Hey, do you think I can set up in the corner over there? Hey, do you mind if I would put a booth outside your front door?" And we're like, "Yeah, we would mind. Like this is something we've built. This is our income. This is how we make a living." But at the same time, it felt we didn't want to feel stuck up in the community that we didn't want to help others out. So we always did that spring show. We called it the spring market, and we would invite 5 to 7 local-ish artists to set up outside of the gallery. And we would have all our spring stuff. But like I said, it's not Christmas when people are spending crazy money. We would do our planters and we'd do flower vases and birds and bugs this year, birds, bugs, and mushrooms. Um, and that was the way that we kind of gave back to the community to do that. So I don't remember what we were talking about, but
I was asking like where the success of the
oh
shop
right.
that would
So
lead you to like grow out of it, because I mean you are taking on more than you historically have as well with teaching
right,
classes and offering to paint your own, like you are offering other avenues that for one can help the business sustain itself on a
right.
daily, weekly basis, monthly
But
basis.
that's where like in Harper it was me and Karina. And then we had Potter Pauls who came and did a trial run at an intern program that we wanted to start. And then Adel came and it helped a lot having somebody do odds and ends, like I mean weighing out balls helps a ton. And now that we have these 4 people, it frees up so much time where I can still throw everything, but I'm already done with 1,000 pumpkins and I've been done for a week. Like that would have never happened in Harper when I was doing all of that work. So now that time that we free up, we're still getting the same amount done, but we can do something like offer classes. We can do something like offer that paint your own. So it is getting people and putting them in places to help the engine run, putting those cogs in place, but still not changing the product to where we're not even touching what we're doing. I
Hmm.
mean, we are still the main makers, but somebody else can put iron oxide on the stems of the pumpkins. Somebody else can wax the pumpkins. I still don't let people glaze my stuff because it's very hard for me to say, I've put all this time into making this piece and then you dipped it 1 second too long and it shivered off.
Oh, yeah.
Or like people just don't. I do let Adel glaze my white stuff. So white is the only color. And I think I let her get into black last year because they're very basic glazes. But like even just the runs on the mugs on a white mug is different than the way I do it. And just that, and it's nothing against how she does it. It's just my anal things have to be perfect on my pieces that I can't get rid of. So I can't imagine letting people do a double dip in two different colors. It'd freak me out, you
Right. When the
know?
line is so fine of it's gonna I glaze it this amount on the outside and you gotta let it dry a certain amount and you plan for the run to be a certain amount. And if
Right,
if there's and you don't want to have to put it on them like, hey, you messed this up.
right. I mean, Becca's thrown for me. She knows how anal I am. Like, it's hard
Hmm.
to please me, and I recognize that. And I don't want to break, especially some of these interns. I probably could have been nicer with Potter Pauls. That was my
Hmm.
very first time having somebody do it, and I asked him to throw some candle jars for us. I think he threw 20 of them, and I took like two of them. He's like, "What's wrong with these 18?" I was like, "Well, look at this, look at that." Like, and it was just I picked them apart.
Hmm.
Um, and it wasn't because I was trying to. I was very young and inexperienced in working with people and having them work for me.
Right.
Um, would I do things different? I would probably. I need to learn how to communicate better without coming across as grumpy or mad. Um, more more constructive, I guess. But I've also just realized how extremely anal I am with my product. And
Because
maybe that's
it's got your name on the bottom at the end of the day.
yeah, it does.
So,
And that's what I always say is my name's on the bottom and people are seeing that. They're not seeing Becca or Jesse or Potter Pauls or Adel. They're seeing my name. Um, and if they aren't happy with it, that's not on them. And so I want it to have that standard. I didn't used to have those standards. Karina's drilled that into me. But now it's at that point where like craftsmanship is like the main thing. We still have some that aren't the best. Yeah, I'm putting these decals on these mugs right now, and there's some that the lips are a little bit wonky and it drives me nuts, but I have to remember it's handmade, you know?
right.
And yeah, so allowing people allowing people to helps us get more done, which seems very obvious, but it's really not. It's not that obvious when it's your
The,
work.
yeah, there's a line of is it worth the extra effort to have some to teach somebody and get them to a state where that they're competent enough that and you're happy with the standards? Not competent,
Right.
that sounds like they're not there, but that you're happy with the process and
Right.
the end product enough that it's like, okay, this is worth it, and that they stick around long enough that you're gonna get a lot of return on that.
Right. That's the other thing, man. We had this intern. She was awesome. Loved her. She was here like 2 weeks and then she had to go to visit her brother, which I get it. You're young, you're out of college, you have all these plans. I'm not saying don't, but man, she was awesome. And we spent so much time. I trained her how to put the lines in my pumpkins, which I've never done. But I told myself I have to relax and let people help. And then she's like, I'm going to be gone the next month and a half. I'm sitting here going, she's still gone. I'm sitting here going, right in the middle. I taught you how to make the lines in these pumpkins. You did it for 1 day and then she was gone. And now pumpkins are done. So it's like, it's just frustrating. It shouldn't be, but it is.
Yeah, it's definitely a different skill. I mean, just like the business side of the making is a different skill. The people
Hmm.
management and understanding
Oh yeah,
how to time box so that you can plan accordingly so that you know that they're going to be here in 2 days and I need to have something for them to work on. Do I have them do the tried and true that they're comfortable with? Do I do half tried and true and push them out of their comfort zone to try something else that maybe I
yeah,
would be willing to offload, but I'm not comfortable giving all of them, all
exactly.
of that thing to offload. I've been doing that with Ashley with this slip casting stuff because like slip casting is brand new to me. So I'm like, I don't know enough about the slip casting body and how long to leave it in mold. So I'm asking like super basic questions like, you know, okay, we did it for 30 minutes. What if we do it for 25 minutes? What does that do? Okay, like how long should I leave it in here? How long do I keep the fan on it? Like all these questions of, I don't know anything about this. So
Or
I
you're
would,
learning your process while you're teaching it, and that's kind of tough.
yeah. But she has the experience in slip casting. So I'm like, I hope that we
Oh.
can know enough about this. That's why we made the molds. And she's used her slip casting bodies and all that, and she kind of knows what to expect of how long it should be in there, but it's not doing that. So we gotta, and like, can we take a speckled buff body and make it in a mold and make it look close enough, you know? So it's interesting. I'm like, I have ideas of how I picture it being, and I would love it to be, we're investing this time. Obviously, it doesn't make sense up front because I could just throw these and they would be made way faster. I don't have to do this trial and error thing because I throw the
Hmm.
pot. I know exactly how wet it is and how long it's going to take to dry, and I've made hundreds of them by now. And then you're like,
Right.
no, I hope this is worth the return by the time I get all of the variables figured out. But I think that's just part of the process. But
Oh yeah.
but we'll see. I had a separate question. How do you think luck plays into some of the successes or the goals that you have in mind? Do you think about luck at all?
I don't know.
Or if you look back on it?
Let me say this, and don't take it wrong. I'm not saying you, I'm saying listeners. I grew up in a very Christian home. I would still say I'm a faithful person, religious person. I don't go to church anymore. I have different beliefs on that. That all apart. Nothing drives me more insane when people come in and they say, "You guys are so blessed. God has blessed you richly." And I'm sitting here going, "Has he not blessed you?" Like, I get up at 5 o'clock every morning to bust out mugs. I'm up till 11 o'clock busting out mugs. Like, I bust my ass to be where I'm at. Like, I don't feel like we just got rained down upon and all of a sudden we're the chosen ones who have had this. Like, we've worked our asses off. Like, yeah, so the word luck or blessed, I guess there's some of that, but at the same time, like, I haven't taken the vacations that I could have. I haven't, I've given up a lot. Um, we've given up, well, we love going in Sika. We've chose not to the past couple times. Um, yeah, like,
Is some of that you're
I
making
think,
your own luck in a way?
I
Where
think
where
there's
it's
there's
not
a
like
certain amount.
destined, it's like, it's gonna happen. It's destiny, it's not in your control. Things are gonna happen
I
to
mean, yeah,
you
there's a
versus
certain amount of mugs, like the whole pumpkin thing. Our friend asked us to make a pumpkin. I would have never made a pumpkin in my life. Our friend, luckily enough for us, she asked us. And then, yeah, it took off. I mean, there's luck behind that, but also we came up with the whole idea, let's make this into a pumpkin patch. I mean, we just believe so much in like the whole fake it till you make it. If you make things look good, people buy into that. And I'm not saying your product, I'm saying how you make them feel with like the event. You have to spend money in packaging. Like Karina's candles kick ass and they sell like crazy, but all they're buying is her packaging. I mean, she makes them look good.
right.
They like that experience. It's things like that. So there is luck, but I think it's also just understanding a little bit of how people react to things. Karina does have her degree in psychology, which helps a lot because she knows the human mind. And every time we went to a show, it was a psychology freaking case study of how people bought, why people bought, if they return, if they don't, what makes them mad, what makes them not come back. She was always doing that stuff. Of course, yes, there is luck. There's luck to it all. There's luck that you're as successful as you are. Um, there's luck that we were born in America to have this opportunity. You
Hmm.
know, I mean, as far as you want to dissect that down, yeah, there is luck, but I don't think we can, what's the word we can't take away the part of how much the people try. Like we,
Luck is only gonna take you so far. You can't
we
rely on
work,
luck.
no, we work more than the average people. And I'll say it. Me and Jesse go back and forth all the time. I say, you take too many breaks. And he goes, you work too much. And it's true. You know, what quality of life do you want? Like, we do work too much. I'm not gonna say that we don't. The luck, the luck that we have is that me and Karina both love clay and we both love working. And we both love our kids enough. I mean, we raise our kids in our studio. We give them the time they need. Um, and we're lucky that they enjoy that life in the studio. Um, there's luck in that, that we found each other and that we both like it. I could not do this if Karina was not involved. I couldn't
Hmm.
do it
If
if
she left
she,
in the morning and went to work somewhere and the kids were off at school and you were at the studio and you had to
or
maintain.
even if she just got upset when I was spending studio time because, like, when I was a teacher and I would come home and spend studio time, she could have easily been upset and say, "You were gone all day. Can you spend time with the family? Leave this pottery artist dream away." You know, it could have been, that could have very easily happened. Um, it's like the luck is it didn't, because she saw the future in it and she also loved it, you know? Um, so that worked for us. So I don't know. I get real defensive when people are like, "You're lucky" or "You're blessed." It's like we're also just stupid to do this as much as we do. But like, I'm sitting here talking to you for 2 hours and I haven't quit working the entire damn time.
Right.
Like, that's,
There's always more to be done. And
there's
it's
always more to do, but it's also my kids are asleep, so it's time that I can actually freaking do it. Um, but also I'm so ADHD. If I just sit and look at you on the camera, I lose track of my thoughts. If I'm doing something, like, I actually have a good conversation.
right. You have a flow of consciousness that's,
My hands are
it's
busy, so my
coherent.
brain, yeah, my hands are doing something, so my brain is relaxed. Otherwise, I'm like looking around. So I don't know. Does that make sense? Like, I don't want to sound arrogant, but at the same time, we bust ass to be where we're at. Like,
Yeah, I think it's yeah, I think that's why I was hoping that Becca could be in here a little bit because, I feel like a lot of times we're on the opposite end of the spectrum of the work I don't know if it's motivation or just the enjoyment of working, but
hmm
just the amount of time spent and it feels like you're doing too much, you know? You're doing too much. Like, why are you doing so much, you know? But
What
it's
else do I have to do? Watch TV? Like, I mean,
yeah, I don't know. It's but to some extent, and we talked about, we just had an episode about burnout come out, and we were kind of going back and forth and analyzing that a little bit from my perspective. And I don't know. I don't know if it's a person to person, and we all just have different thresholds, or we have it's just, well, I'm enjoying what I'm doing, so why would I not keep doing what I like doing?
right, right.
Rather than, there's other things that I could enjoy more and I would probably be doing them if I enjoyed them enough, right? I
When you
think
think of it, when you
it's
think
like
of it
a
as work, is when it quits being enjoyable. But we still don't. I still don't think of this as my work. You know,
yeah,
it's still what I
the
love doing.
right. I think that, and there's aspects of it where I mean, you're not gonna it's still gonna be a job to some extent, but there's enough balancing it of, I enjoy enough of it or enough of these parts of the process. And then some
hmm
of the parts that you don't enjoy as much, you can delegate and you can have other people that help you do the things. Like if you had to make the mini pumpkins that Karina makes, like would you enjoy doing that all day?
No. But see, that's the other thing, is I think that our business and our style lends so many opportunities for change where I'm not doing, for example, cardboard Tim. If I was knocking out cardboard mugs and barrels, he does it great, but I would get bored. Like, that's why I do wall mugs, soda mugs, our basic line. We have 3 events that we plan around, so we're always changing: pumpkins, Christmas trees, basically design, candles, package design with Karina is a lot of that. Every 3 years, we're designing a new store and building it. Um, we always have something going on that's not just the same old, same old. Wake up on Monday is throwing, Tuesday's trimming, Thursday. Candles, glaze, show on Saturday. Like that seems real stale. We always have a change going on. And then you throw in two kids, and it's real. Like today, we had to stop to go get vaccines for Natalia. Um,
Hmm.
Tomorrow, Javi has baseball tryouts for next season. Um,
And you said you had to drive to Harper one of the days
we
recently
had
to
to
go to
drive to
the
Hartford
house.
to go show our house. We still haven't sold our house in the old gallery. We're still trying to sell that. Um, Saturday, there's a big name concert here that we're wanting to go to. So, I mean, we still find time every day. Clock strikes 5, we close the shop, we find a park. Yesterday, we went walking down Bethel College. They have a little pathway back through the back, and we found this creek and went walking through the creek for hours last night. Bobby got out and had 2 leeches on his feet. So we had a little science experiment of how do you pull a leech off? Blood goes everywhere. Javi freaks out, you know. Um, Today we went to a town close by and went to this huge park they just had built. So we're trying, like we intentionally engage with the children and the lives of what they need also. And it's just a balance that keeps everything fresh every day for us. If
Right.
that
And
makes
all of
sense.
that, yeah, all of that shakeup is good for probably your, your mental well-being of being out in the public outside of just
Right.
the four of you in the gallery and the studio and
Mm-hmm.
the interns, like, and you're physically driving somewhere, so you probably need to look somewhat presentable to go out.
Oh, all the time. And when you're new in town, you're the new store. All of a sudden, they want you as the Main Street delegate for the Chamber of Commerce. They want you to be on the city planning committee. It's like, I swear I can't get anything done because I got to go to all these meetings
Hmm.
and you're meeting all these people. And yeah, it's just it's a constant buzz that it, it scratches my ADHD itch,
Yeah.
keeps
There
me
was
busy.
there was and some of this I was kind of thinking about because I was listening to it was a Real Artists Don't Starve book, and there was a mentioning in there about the just the straight like stubbornness, and whether it's the attention to detail of your process and just being so stubborn and like refusing to just call it good enough, and like a balance between that and just like obsession with
Hmm.
the process or the quality that you want. And that to an extent we have to be, you have to be willing to like let go to some extent, but also keep it to a certain standard of like, this is what I want from your whether it's like, okay, like, do I have I run the course with this product or this thing that I'm trying, or do I just keep going, you know um fine tuning, and just like, okay, like the art show thing I was talking about earlier. Like, how much do I fine tune this? Like, is it good enough? Or do I need to like keep trying and shaking things up a little bit to see if there's any additional things I can shake out of the tree?
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I don't know. I feel like the obsession kind of resonates for sure. We're obsessed with working, and to some people that sounds like, oh, well, you're a workaholic. It's gonna
It's going
hurt
to
you in
eat
the
you.
long term. You're not gonna, but finding areas to balance it out with, okay, like Rachel and I still go on dates and stuff, or
Right. Right.
we can, and some of it is you can plan that something is going to come up. You can expect something's going to come up, so maybe you plan a little buffer time in there, but
Hmm.
we also just, fill the calendar and do your best, and then opportunities are going to come your way, and you're going to be like, you know what? I feel like I can't turn that down.
Yeah.
Kind of feels like making your own luck, but also, um, like, is that what the aspiration is for it? Like, is that what I'm doing it all for? So that all of these opportunities can come your way that you can't plan for, and then you just are in a position where you can pick and choose, and it just gives you so much freedom
Hmm.
rather than just like, okay, well, like, I mean, I guess I have to make this um and there's a part of the book where they were talking about making money to make more art. They were it was kind of balancing on a little bit of people that were side hustling and people that were doing it full
Yeah.
time, where you could a lot of people that change the perspective of, I don't make art to make money. I make money so that I can make the art that I want.
Yeah, for sure.
And some of that you can balance with, if you do it full time as an artist, you make the things that maybe you're not as passionate about, but they make the money so that you can make the art that you want to be making.
I mean, I feel like that with balancing wall mugs and everything else. I can't make them because I don't have time. Like I've got to get ahead so that I have time to do that. Something always gets in the way, you know? Like that's
And
my art. This stuff's
mhm.
all my job. And then making those and soda mugs, that's my art time right now. And I told Karina the other day that we're turning into a factory and she didn't like that, but like legit. I'm sitting in front of the camera with you with 200 mugs that I've been putting these little decals on. That's the definition of a factory. It's just a one person factory. Um, until we get far enough ahead that I can squeeze in time to make some art. So like I'm literally making money to make art because that's like what keeps me going is like the soda kiln and wall mugs. That's what gives me breath. I mean, obviously, I love making all this on repetition. Don't get me wrong, but if I could, I would love to just be making wall mugs. But you can't make a living on that. So you know
Can't pay for a huge gallery and studio and all that stuff on that.
exactly. No way. I think it
But
helps.
yeah, you'd need fewer customers if you made fewer pots, though.
This is true, but not going down that alley with you.
It is interesting. You see different potters around. They make shifts where, they go down a path and they make a lot of stuff, and then they shift and they're like, I'm kind of tired of that stuff, and they make something different, and they got to shift their business. And yeah, it's interesting to see that. And you're like, I wonder, like, is that inevitable? Are there you? I feel like I don't know about you. Like, do you see that frequently? Because I see that relatively frequently. Or somebody will be like, they hit a high and they've been killing it, and then they're like, I'm like done with this for a while, and they like sell off all their stuff, or they're like, I just couldn't keep up, or it just didn't, it wasn't the life I wanted, or whatever.
I wouldn't say I see it frequently, but I don't know, not really too much. Like you see that often, like on Instagram or what?
Um, I would say a few times a year. But I'm not. I'm talking like it could be small scale. It could be like a single person
Yeah.
that, like, they found a groove and they were like selling well, maybe selling out, and they kind of built that production of, I make, I sell, it sells out, I make again, I maybe add some new flexibility, add some new things in there. But like, they got the marketing game down, they got the timeline down, they got the funnel of people down. Like, it feels like they got it
Hmm.
going, and then it feels like the fuse burns out. I don't know if it's like they just feel robotic. Maybe that factory aspect of it feels like it
But
loses the
is it
passion.
they burn out or does something happen? Because I mean, I understand well, life happens, and
Yeah, some of it's like,
sometimes
hey, we're,
sometimes people
maybe they're
aren't
with a
comfortable
partner
putting
and they need
on.
to move, or you don't
Yeah.
see some of that, on Instagram.
Yeah. I mean, health issues arise that you can't control, and some people are very not public people and just kind of.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, that could have easily been our story, you know, that we're just gonna stop where we're at right now, focus on life, and just go back to a 9 to 5 to just make sure we have health insurance.
Yeah, that's
Um,
true.
and so that's where I just For me, it's not so much I see someone like, oh, they just kind of burn out. For me, it's like, oh shit, what happened, you know? Um,
Hmm.
but yeah, it could be they burn out. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I was also thinking, and this was probably from the book, reading the book a little bit too, and I was kind of thinking about, am I building this business in this like way of doing things so that I'm not just doing it for the next 1 to 3 years. I'm doing this so that I can sustain something for like a decade or a couple decades.
That's like you actually have a goal of you want to be full time.
Hmm.
And so you have that you're working towards. I feel that, I don't know. I feel
Is
like,
that putting
like,
too much pressure?
well, I'm not saying it's putting pressure on you, but I just don't feel like many people have a huge goal like that with pottery. You're going to find people, yeah, that do. I would say I honestly never had, like, my goal was not, I want to make only pottery in my life. That was not my goal. I would say that fell into my lap. And I would
Hmm.
say that happened more with burnout for teaching going through COVID. And
The
for
opportunity
me,
revealed itself?
well, for me, honestly, I never loved teaching. It was a means to an end to have money. My parents were teachers, so why can't I be a teacher? And I got lucky enough to teach what I loved making, which was pottery. And I got even more lucky that I landed one of the better gigs in Kansas in public education in the ceramics department compared to just a high school art teacher that taught everything. That was my goal in life was to do that. Just so I could be around pottery all day. I never once thought that you're going to make it as a full-time potter, and I never even really had that goal. Um, but I got really burnt out of teaching going through COVID. The whole scare of getting sick, the whole scare or the whole keeping masks on kids' faces, the whole
You
like
did you do some
let's
online as well? You had to like teach art online.
we did I had to teach ceramics online. I had a 3-year-old kid who didn't understand the world and who when I went back, like when I came home from school, when I was let out of school, Javi did not know who I was because I was never home. I would drove an hour one way, taught for 8 hours, drove an hour home, ate supper, went to the studio. Javi would not talk to me when he was 3 years old because he didn't know I was his dad, and that's not healthy. And COVID hit, and then I was home all day with him, and me and him grew tight, you know. And then all of a sudden, hey, we're opening the schools, and I had to leave again, and it was really hard on him. And he says, Dad, why can't you go to work when I'm asleep? Then you can be home when I'm awake. And I'm sitting here going, this kid understands life more than I do. Like, how many teachers wish they could get out, but they have no other options? And we were like, we have this option of pottery. It's going to be tough. We talked to our accountant, and he said, I wouldn't do it yet. You're not ready. But it was the point where it was like, I was ready just for a change. And was not my long-term goal, but we just kind of went for it.
Hmm.
And we're still doing it, you know? And
So if COVID wouldn't have happened, you might still be teaching.
I would still be teaching for sure. I would. I wasn't a risk taker, and then I think COVID kind of made me turn into a risk taker because that was the options that we had, and it's kind of made us become a risk taker or just be comfortable. Sorry, I just realized you're looking only at my shirt. It also basically made us realize you have one life. Like, take those risks. What's going to happen if I can't make it as a potter? I'm going to go back to teaching. Like, I have that privilege, you know? I have parents who have a basement that I'm going to be able to go live in if we really need to. Like, yeah, I have that privilege. I recognize that privilege. And I know not everybody has that, but like, take that chance, you know? It wasn't a goal, but it wasn't
Hmm.
not a goal at the same time. And had we have never done that, I would still be living in freaking Harper, which is fine, don't get me wrong, but we would have never seen what we were missing. And Newton's still not. Cincinnati or Southgate, Kentucky or whatever, it's like it is what it is. We're enjoying the heck out of it. People in Newton still think it's the smallest town in the world. We're like, you have no clue. Um,
And then they walk in and they're like, "You make all this?
yeah.
What's pottery?" You're
What?
opening them to a new world of creativity and art, and you never know. Like maybe this is
Pottery?
you know,
Pottery? That's stupid.
yeah. What is this? This a pottery shop? That's
So
dumb.
dumb. So yeah,
So do you have a goal? Do you have a goal, or do you picture yourself doing pottery for the rest of your life?
I would assume so,
Or is
yeah.
that too much like I don't want to say like yes because or it's like yeah, I see or maybe being creative or living a creative life.
Yeah.
Maybe that's part of, you'll always be doing something creative.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. I think so. I painted this mural the other day and it was fun. And I told Karina, we had a mural professionally painted at our gallery in Harper. And it was really fun watching those artists work and talk with them, and seeing their lifestyle. And I'm not saying that what we painted here was anywhere close to being professional. We have had people reach out and ask what we would charge to do one in their building. Um, and it has given me that little push. I even told Karina, you know what? It might be fun to try to do two of these a year. We had two houses in Harper. We're selling one with a realtor, which is still for sale, and we sold one by owner because I just wanted to see what the rush was like to try to sell a house. We sold that one, and now I kind of want to become a realtor because I was like, that was actually kind of fun. So like I could see, I feel like
Pottery,
pottery will,
realty, murals, like
I see pottery will be like what gets us through life. Like Karina always says, I wish I had 9 lives like a cat. Like I have so many things I want to do in this lifetime. And you just can't do them all. I'm like, do I want to be a realtor? No, not at all. But I think it'd be real fun. Like that whole drive of like,
hmm
it's easy to sell somebody else's something. Like it'd be real fun to go try to sell a $5 million home, just or even just a little shanty. Just try to get it sold like our house. I mean, it was fun taking people through our little crap house and just, showing what it was, what we did. And yeah, we know it's not perfect, but it was fun to do. And so, will pottery always be there? Pottery or something creative will get us through life. I'm positive about that. I have other dreams and aspirations I would like to do. So, most people are a realtor for a job. I think it'd be a fun hobby, you know?
I think being a
Like,
bartender would be
that's
fun.
that's cr- what
I like
that's
bartending
that's
at the house for the tiki parties. I'm like, I love this. But I know
that's one
there's
of
like, there's things to do with like health codes and things like that that I can't just like guest bartend
yeah,
somewhere off the
yeah.
street that has no experience. Like I can't do that.
It's Karina wants to be a bartender too. She doesn't drink. She just really likes mixology. Like, you know, there's so many things you can do in this world.
hmm
Why limit it to just what we do?
And you can find ways to narrow the gap between that. Like maybe Karina hosts somebody that's a professional mixologist in there for something pottery and cocktail related or whatever.
Right.
And then, you build those relationships and, you know, maybe
And
you
see,
end
we've
up
also
making work for a bar or something like
we've
that.
also always dreamed of having like the coffee house connected with our kind of like Mocha Monkey with like John the Potter.
Yeah. So you're going to be
Something like that. But
buying the
that
coffee shop next door a few years down the road.
hell no. But see, that's the other thing is we're always lucky enough that there's something like that right next door that we don't have to worry about it. Because that's Karina's dream. And I've learned Karina dreams a lot. And then I'm like sitting here going, oh, as a good spouse, you gotta fulfill these dreams. All
Yep.
right, we gotta find a
Yep.
coffee house.
Yeah. Rachel, I
And
think Rachel would love to I don't know if it's own or like help with building a tiki bar
oh,
or
I
like
know you guys would.
yeah, I don't know. I think she just for the most part wants to decorate it and build it out to make it have the certain vibe.
What you
But
guys
I'm
need to do is
like, I
get an
don't know what the
Airbnb.
service industry and then the other option would the other thought side, dream is like, oh, we want like an Airbnb. Like I want to run an Airbnb, not
I would do
me,
an
but
Airbnb. If I were you guys, do an Airbnb and make it all tiki themed. and like have a tiki bar in there that they can bar. You can have like
Mm,
recipe cards where they can mix their own.
yeah.
Like you guys would do that well.
Yeah. There you go. So you don't have to worry about the you don't have to worry about the service industry side of it of like, oh, we've got to maintain staff and keep the numbers and keep it profitable. You just provide all
Right.
the stuff. You make it so enticing that people want to stay there. You make it an experience.
You know people would come from afar. Tiki people are weird like that.
And and then maybe there's a yearly tiki event that we help with and we can
Heck
create an
yeah.
experience and we get, help get the artists because we know artists and there's a
Hey.
what?
Buy one of Newton and do that. Because I've always wanted to do like a meetup at Mostasa. Like ever since we built that soda kiln, I thought it'd be fun to do an annual meetup at Mostasa where we like bring in an artist, do workshops and whatnot, and just have people like,
Mm.
I don't know, like a little miniature clay con. Have people come. Now that we're Newton and not Harper, it would seem more desirable. You get the Airbnb and tiki it out.
Or you get the Airbnb and Rachel comes out and tiki's it out.
Dude, we we went and toured one on Friday to buy it.
A house?
This this Airbnb, it was awesome. We're not doing it.
Oh.
But yeah, dude, oh my gosh. You walked in, it was like the most luxurious thing. And it's rented out through the end of the year. They just give you the key, they give you their socials, the Airbnb list. Like, dude, it is set
Oh, it's
up.
like plug and play.
Yeah, it is awesome.
It's like turnkey Airbnb.
Hmm.
Yeah, there's
How
a
about, hey, I'll just send you that listing and you buy it. We'll manage it.
yeah, right. Yeah, right. Yeah, there's a yeah, there we Rachel drove out of the neighborhood today and there's this house at the end of the street. She's been like dreaming of this house because it's at the corner. It used to be an optometrist and there's like a little parking lot out front. And the
Mhm.
house has an estate sale going on and I'm like, she's like, that house has an estate sale. Does that mean they're moving out or they're like what's going on? And it's like this dream of like having this additional location and whether that's like, a working studio for Rachel to work in or we like rent it out or make it an Airbnb for people to come do soda workshops or
I
whatever.
feel like I've told you you need to do that.
You did tell me that. And we've been thinking about this house and it's like, man, if that ever came on the market, would we just buy it? Like, would we get it? Would we just make it work? Like, it feels like too big of a risk to just buy it. But I'm like, we had this house in mind. Like, this is it seems like the perfect spot. And yeah, I don't know.
It's for sale.
I don't know. The estate sale's on Friday, so Rachel's gonna go see the estate sale. She's gonna kind of fact find a little bit, see what's going on, get a look inside, and
Just walk in and make an offer. Take one of those big checks you can buy, like that they present. Like, just
you
walk
just
in with it and just put in like 253,000 and just walk in and say, "Will you take this for this house?"
well, it's an estate sale. We have no idea if the person has passed or is going into, you know, care,
Doesn't
long-term
matter.
care or
It's
anything.
taking a
Like
big
we
check.
don't know, but we have these thoughts and aspirations for what this could be. And,
Everything's for sale, Ryan.
you know,
Everything.
one owner, um, the spouse passed a handful of years ago, and yeah, it definitely gets you thinking. It's like, would we ever want to own another property? It feels like a huge risk. Like I don't want to take out another mortgage.
Oh
But
my.
like the idea of like we can make this, you know, the other like I don't want to move out of the house either.
Yeah, no kidding.
But
Dude, it's 11 o'clock.
those definitely stay in the back of my mind at times and I'm like she's pushing me to do these things. I don't know. They're definitely the partner's dreams definitely become your dreams and you figure out how to compromise or meet in the middle or push your timeline a little bit. I don't know. But well, it is midnight here. It's 11 for you.
Yeah.
We
I go to bed at
gotta
9. Oh my dear God. I'm not getting up at 5 tomorrow. There's no chance.
All right. So thanks for the chat. Hopefully people enjoyed it. Hopefully people got some value out of it.
Yeah.
And if people want to find you, whether it's the gallery, Instagram. Where do you want them to find you?
615 North Main Street, Newton, Kansas.
It's a nice spot. You
Six
might
six
want to head
seven one one four.
might want to head there in September for a little pumpkin patch, indoor pumpkin patch.
If somebody listening to this shows up that day and mentions they heard this, I will give them a free pumpkin. Unless you like freaking live in a
So
20-mile radius.
they have to prove that their address is not within 20 miles of Newton,
Yeah,
Kansas.
right. I mean, yeah, there's
So
if
if they
somehow
hear this and
this
travel to the
if this
shop
somehow
on,
leaks and people find out in Newton and listen to this, that's bullcrap. That's not happening. But
is it like the
we
first?
did
Why don't you put a limit on it? Why don't you say the first five or something? Like
the
so that you have
first the first two.
the first two. Okay, so the first two people that go to your pumpkin patch on September 13th, right?
If people drive in from out of state listening to this, it will be more than two. We had people last year. We had two families from Arkansas. We had one from Alabama. Two families from Texas. Yeah, they drive in from all over. And I had a lady today who lives 50 miles away tell me it was extremely too far away to drive over. Well, it's like, all
Do you
right,
throw that back at
you
him? Do you say like, "Well, we've had people drive in from Arkansas."
no, don't be negative to your customers. All you got to do is say, I'm sorry. If some get online, we'll let you know.
There you go. There you go. All right. Isaac Shue is art on Instagram. Gallery Mostasa on Instagram. Thanks for
Correct.
joining me, Isaac.
Heck yeah.
And Becca will never listen to this, so any last
You won't
words?
know. Love being the co-host on Wheel Talk.
She might hear the very end of this though, because she's got to put that at the... Maybe she won't. I don't know. But
Doubt it.
all right. Well, thanks
Nope.
everybody for listening. Thanks, Isaac, for joining me, and we'll catch y'all next time. That's where you're
See
supposed to say
ya.
bye. All right. See ya.
Bye.
Bye. Hey, everybody. Thanks for listening to another episode of Wheel Talk. This podcast is made possible through the contributions of all of our listeners who always ask us great questions, leave us reviews, and contact with us through social media. Thanks to all the fellow makers as well who take time to be interviewed and share about their lives and businesses.
And thank you to Ashley from Boldover Ceramics and Lindy from Lindy Garner Ceramics for their assistance on the Whale Talk Podcast Instagram. You are invaluable. Thank you to everybody.